Welcome in. We'll get ourselves going for the Eastern European DPC Winter Tour, and this is going to be Division 1. Hurry, looking at these teams, we've seen them play before, Nemiga and Hellraisers. We saw them in the Christmas tour, where I think Nemiga actually 2-0'd Hellraisers in the lower bracket series they played. Twice.
They 2-0'd them in the groups, and then they 2-0'd them in the playoffs as well. So they are coming in as somewhat of a favorite.
Yeah, and how do you expect them to Hellraisers to try and shake it up then? Because we know that they are a new team. They're trying to get to grips with each other. Are you expecting these Nature's Prophet carries, the Visage carries coming out for the hack, or are you expecting maybe more of a standard carry coming out for him here? Do you think he is going to shake it up at all?
That is a tough one. Hellraisers, what they did last time that they faced off against Nemiga, which wasn't that long ago, the last tournament of the previous year, especially for Eastern Europe, they played a bit of a slower paced lineups. So the Hawk, even though sometimes he played these tempo cores like the Nature's Prophet, he was still somewhat greedy. So I'm not sure what kind of an approach Hellraisers are gonna take against Nemiga, because Nemiga kind of were their counter in that tournament in particular, because they could ramp up the pace as much as they could. So I don't really know what to expect from Hellraisers, because I would assume they would want to switch things up, because what happened was Hellraisers were looking good against every other team apart from Nemiga. So I'm hoping there is going to be some swaps. I do believe that the Nature's Prophet we are not going to see. Nemiga are not going to be foolish enough to give it to the Hawk. That's kind of the one thing I think is probably going to be set in stone.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at that lineup that they did play. We look at the Hellraisers lineup. They played the Bloodseeker, they played the Alchemist. Again, two heroes that seem to... Well, not the Alchemist. The Alchemist is kind of out of meta, but it's still a hero that the Hack likes. The Bloodseeker getting more and more popular in the Eastern European region. I think we saw it ban out nearly every draft in the Christmas show. One of those heroes that is just getting up there. Magnus Centaur picked up for them. They actually picked up the Lesh and lost to it looks like the mid Zeus. Or was it the mid Tusk?
I'd say Tusk. I would say Tusk, because Nemiga, they played Zeus on 4 mostly, and the Tusk in the mid lane. So that is, if you see an early Zeus pick, we can expect it to be a hero that Hellscream is going to be playing. Something that people might not be used to, but overall, Hellscream has been playing these heroes that have the potential to steal kills, and he has been doing it as well. So he has come up in terms of net worth, if the games were longer, a little bit more, which makes sense. They're going for tactics like that, considering that Malrine, his 3 best heroes, Timber, Tusk, and the Pango, he doesn't take away too much farm with him. He just goes to fight. So you need a position 4 that is going to be able to kind of compensate for that later on.
Yeah, and with the pro scene, I don't think we can say kill steal. I think it's always a kill secure.
Yes.
To make sure you just make sure you secure your kills. You finish them off. But yeah, so it was that Zeus 4, it was Hellscream that was playing the Zeus, it was the mid Tusk. How are you expecting, because these teams, Hellraisers, Nemiga, like I say, they've got a little bit of experience already with this current meta. Are you expecting the bans on the Rubik bans, the Lena bans, the Leshrac ban, the Broodmother ban? Is that like the first 4 that you think more than likely get banned out, as the Timber actually goes, and the Nature's Prophet? So throw that right out the window.
Yeah, well, I would assume, Broodmother would be now the 4th one to get removed, from what we've seen recently, but you never know. Really, there are so many heroes that are kind of prioritized in the Eastern European region. Yeah, there's the Brood. But yeah, I think Brood is the most important one, and then it is kind of gonna be obvious what these teams want to get for themselves. Now, Nemiga are most likely gonna be looking towards something like a Pango, because Malrine's hero has usually been something that is picked up in the first phase. So this is kind of to be expected when we are looking at the draft, that Hellraisers, they took the first pick, given that they want coin toss, and they are trying to get as many of Malreen's heroes away from him, and this is a good way to do it. And the hero that people have usually been able to deal with from his side has been the Pango, which is kind of his third choice usually that he goes for.
Okay, but that does leave the Treant to come through, and you know, we've seen this hero in the lane. The lead sheet looks really good. You know, fairly useful at the first level now. Being able to just stand in the lane, the damage that he puts out as well, the sustain that this hero has near the trees. You know, the Treant Protector looking really scary as that first pick. And what can, you know, Nemiga, what do they want to pair with us in, you know, in this, like this draft to play with it around the Treant Protector?
Considering that they aren't really sure where the Tusk is gonna be going, they'll go, of course, with the Pango. But when it comes to pairing things with the Treant, we've seen everything, right? Because this hero, it just gives you so much sustain in the lane that you can take either route. Either we're gonna be super aggressive, use the Leech Seed slow and the heavy damage of the Treant Protector to kill them, or we're gonna use the defensive capabilities of the hero to secure the farm for one of our carries. Kiritich, he is kind of more versatile in that regard. But what I'm afraid of is that there is a potential nice Bloodseeker pick, and the Hawk is pretty good on the hero, even though Bloodseeker isn't like the top tier meta pick.
Yeah.
It is still in there just because of the heroes that are being played. Pango, Slark, the two just to name them, but there are a couple of others that the Rupture is good against. But back to the Treant, this could be an position 4 Tusk, and you max out the tag team, and that is something that the Treant Protector can be hurt with. So I'm kind of curious to see if Hellraisers will find a way to punish this Treant Protector, because that's something that we haven't seen happen too many times. Usually the hero has been targeted with the ban, but in this scenario where there's just so many heroes that you're afraid, so many specialists here on both sides, that you kind of have to focus your bans on those heroes.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll see how's it. I mean, the Templar's gone, like I said, the Bloodseeker's already there. Silence are being taken out now as well. Ench being removed, so potentially looking towards that Beastmaster here as well for Hellraisers, if you want to throw that in the off lane. What else do they want to go for? Because, I mean, I'm looking at what Nemiga have drafted recently as well. They picked up Silencer. Slark was there. They've got even gone for the Medusa. You know, Clockwork is another popular position 4-5 that we do see picked up. But I suppose when you're up against a Bloodseeker, when you've got, you know, already 2 melee heroes in your draft, you might want to try and, you know, the position 4, you know, branch out to that ranged hero. And looking through the mid laners, Leshrac is still there. Lina didn't get banned out either. So those are the two big, I'd say the two big powerhouses at the minute in that mid lane. Razor's still there. We saw a couple of Razors in the Christmas show as well. So that is still available. You know, I mean, we've only got, what, 3 bans left. Are you expecting both Leshrac and Lina to get through here?
Yes, I think so. But if they both go through, at least the Lesh won't be picked up. I think Nemiga have been put in a very uncomfortable position right now, because you don't want to pick a Beastmaster into a Seeker in the lane, yeah, and they decide to ban it. This is pretty much a forced out ban with the Enchantress ban, right? Hellraisers would be quite good with the Beastmaster, but against him, they could just focus on the lanes, because Beastmaster can be good against the Bloodseeker later on, but early on in the game, you are going to lose your lane heavily. That is going to be dangerous territory for you. So Nemiga didn't really want to pick it up that early and just get countered in the lanes and lose the game on the back of the laning stage. So that is a good decision from them, but it took away so much reserve time. And Hellraisers, you know, they're gonna have that slight win in the drafting phase so far, just by forcing the enemies to ban a hero that you otherwise you're not really sure if you wanted to do so, because you'd always have the potential Enchantress to pick up. So it's, I mean, the second banning phase is pretty much where things are decided, but they're gonna continue with their route of kind of targeting Nemiga, right? Nemiga have been really good with these fast-paced heroes. Roche-taking heroes, of course, are gonna be in there, so that's why the TA and the Ursa are gonna be taken out, something that Kiritich has played recently, and the heroes with which, if Malreen would have a bad game, he would take over the role of kind of being the top dog there.
5 seconds.
And carrying it for his team. So I like the approach from Hellraiser. Hellraisers. I think that they switched things up quite nicely, that they thought about how they were going to draft against Nemiga, and that gives them a slight edge, because they were the ones that were losing. They're the ones that are changing things, so Nemiga, they might get caught off guard.
Yeah, and that is the potential Hellscream Zeus coming out there as well. You know, like you're saying, a lot of damage can get those kill secures. The games do seem to go a little bit longer as well, so he is going to try and he's going to have the ability, if he needs to transition into that semi-core role if he wants that as well. So potentially looking here at the 2 supports already being picked up. Techies comes out for Hellraisers. Okay, great backline diver. Squishy hero in himself, but great at being able to get to the backlines. Blow up something like a Zeus with the blast off. Drop them the mines right on top of him there as well. The silence that comes out with the blast off, it takes Zeus out of the game, because what are you going to do for 4 or 5 seconds? Right click? Zeus doesn't right click. And
Man, look at those arms. What are you talking about? If you would get punched by those, I mean, you would not be happy. So I have literally no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, techies, a lot of burst. That is what Hellraisers need. Tusk initiates, a hero gets blown up. Then, there isn't enough damage, there isn't enough control. All of these 3 heroes of Nemiga, they work in a very nice way together, but if you take one of them out, it's immediately a really bad start. Then Pango gets ruptured, and suddenly you don't have the ability to fight. So I really like the techies pick. Plus, Eastern European position 4s, they're all very good at the hero.
Yeah, and looking at what's left, I mean, we've got the Magnus that's still there, the Centaur that's still in as well. Nemiga, you know what? I wouldn't actually mind a Faceless Void here for Nemiga as well. Being able to both shut down the Tusk and the Bloodseeker if they are grouping up. Take the 2 big early game powerhouses, because we have seen Nemiga, especially Kiritich, he's not scared of going for those the early game rotations. Batrider does actually come out, so that's going to be I completely forgot about the Batrider as well. So the mid laner coming out. So are we assuming then this is going to be the position 4 Tusk and the position 5 techies?
Yes. Or no, wait. I can say that it's most likely going to be Antares on the techies. As far as I know, Solo hasn't played it, at least not recently. So if it is a Tusk support still, that is a 5 Tusk. Though I do believe this could be an offlane Tusk. Techies and Tusk actually work really well together. Techies has a lot of range, he pokes a lot. An offlane Tusk maxes his tag team at some point, so I wouldn't mind it being a Tusk Techies offlane. That is also a real possibility here for Hellraisers, whereas then they're gonna be needing their position 5, considering they don't have the last pick. I'm completely fine with that. And there's the Faceless Void. Good call, especially good now that they picked the Batrider. You usually watch if the time dilation is a good spell or not before picking the Faceless Void, but on the other hand, there's a lot of burst on the other side, so that can make the Faceless Void not as great, because before you get the BKB, Tusk and the techies, they kill you every time.
Yeah, like I say, if it is going to be that offlane like you're talking about, it might be a lot harder lane for the Faceless Void. I'm just thinking, looking at it, the Batrider trying to drag some out with the lasso, like you say, the sticky napalm anyway, so the time dilation is going to be effective, but Tusk and Bloodseeker, if they are going to be, 2 of the big cores as well, just being able to lock those down while the Chronosphere is up and the Zeus is putting up damage. Because I'm just looking, the Pangolier is still going to be able to get the swashbuckles in, but I wouldn't mind here seeing the Pangolier put in the offlane and then maybe pick up something with a little bit of range in the mid lane, like the Sniper, like the Lina, that doesn't really come too close into the lane, into the river to farm. Against the Batrider, can always has that option if things are looking rough. You see that, but you've got 5 sticky napalm stacks on you, and you see that Batrider coming towards you. You've got that large attack range anyway, so you can move yourself back, get yourself out of danger of the Batrider moving in. You can put a lot of damage into the Chronosphere there as well. With the Huskar and the Centaur, Hellraisers thinking this might be still the mid lane Pangolier, which is, again, in itself isn't bad. You can always swashbuckle away. You've got the shield crash to get away from the Batrider there as well, if things are getting tricky. I'd just like to see that a little bit more long range engagement ability coming out from Nemiga here.
It still comes down to it. Does Malrine feel comfortable playing the Pango in this game? If he does, he's still gonna do it. And considering the past, I would still assume that this is gonna be a Pango in the mid lane, just because Nemiga naturally, when their Tusk and the Timber would get taken away, they would just immediately pick the Pango for Malrine, which is pretty much what they did in this draft. So I would be surprised. I wouldn't hate it draft-wise, but I would be surprised considering which team we are watching that he does not pick it up. So you know, it's tough to say. I'd rather see a Blink initiation hero on Nemiga as their off laner.
Yeah.
Or something that just goes straight up auras, right? Only auras. Something that comes to mind is the Underlord, right? So either you can stand your ground and defend the towers forever until the Faceless Void can win the game, or you get a Blink hero, which is more Nemiga style, that is going to be playing with Malrine, running around the map and killing people. So that's kind of the two options that I see for them as something that they would much rather get. So it is going to be an OD. Picked up. I would assume that's gonna be our offlane hero, because I don't think you lane the bat against the Faceless Void.
No, and actually, I know it did get really popular for a time, the offlane OD, but I know Destroyed Lays that used to play for V Gaming, well, the Slardar comes out, so that's your Blink initiated, but yeah, the OD, God, it was, well, going back probably before the start of last season.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was a really popular pick, so seeing this come out, you know, I'm not surprised to see it if it is going to be that offlaner. So yeah, Kiyotaka is going to be picking that one up. But
Okay, so it is going to be a mid lane OD.
And my point goes out the window. That's fine.
He has played the mid OD and a pretty successful one at that. So they are going to be laning a Batrider in the offlane against the Faceless Void. I'm going to assume that it is going to be a Techies laning with the Seeker and Tusk laning with the Bat, because that would just make more sense, making it easier to lane, especially against the Twin Protector. But this lane from Hellraisers against the Faceless Void, it is going to be tough, right? You have to be very careful how you approach it. And if you're the Batrider, I would even argue you try not to use your Firefly too often, unless you're 100% certain there's no time dilation, so it has to be used somewhere earlier. If you use your Firefly and the time dilation comes out, you could easily get ran down. So I'm kind of hoping Hellraisers can find a way to do something there. But yeah, definitely this is an Nemiga gaming lineup. This is the type of lineup that they won against Hellraisers in the last tournament of the previous year. So I'm gonna be siding with them still. I don't think Hellraisers have changed much here, but they might be able to slow down the game enough for the Seeker and the OD to hit their stride.
Yeah, and we'll see how they're actually going to be. And like you were talking about pre-draft, you know, the Nemiga wanted to slow down the game, like I said. So the Twin Protector going to be really good at that, and Hellscream going to be able to get a lot more farm out. Vazia, I'm just worried. I mean, the Slardar and the Pangolier against the Bloodseeker, you know, it's looking at these two heroes. Of course, he only has the one Rupture, you know, in the mid game. But I'm just looking, because even the Slardar wants to be hyper mobile, I think, in these fights, you know, getting around. With the Pangolier being there as well, I think it's a bit of a buffet being shown for the Bloodseeker. So I just want to know how they're going to play around that. You know, what's going to be the plan on the side of Nemiga to make this pickup effective.
Okay, so how I'm looking at it, your main target as a Slardar is the OD. OD hates dealing with physical damage later on down the line, right? Especially if you go for something like a BKB. I'm expecting this to be an Aghanim Scepter OD anyways, though, but still. For that to happen, you need Division. That's why you have the Zeus. You are not sure where the enemies are. Bam, Zeus ulti, jump the OD, and then the fight starts that way. Everyone needs to go towards the OD to save him, and then the Chrono comes out, and then that's how you deal with the Pango, with the Seeker. So that's kind of how Nemiga want to approach the fights in particular, but for now they just need to focus on the lanes, where Slardar isn't going to have the easiest time, and we're seeing that Hellraisers are swapping lanes. Even though Bloodseeker can do well against the Slardar because of the high armor, the Batrider cannot do well against the Faceless Void. So you need to switch it up a little bit to have a chance not to lose both of the side lanes, because that would be really bad, especially with the Pango on the enemy side.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, looking at Nemiga now as well, they are moving themselves around as 5. Batrider is off the lane, so Mero, he might actually be being put in just to go into a solo lane, maybe. Do you actually run that Bloodseeker aggressive try?
And they're off.
Oops. Solo going to be coming into the river. The 3 heroes. Vazia, he wasn't close, so he wasn't able to get. I mean, he started off with a Slithering Crush, but he wasn't able to get that off.
Okay, so they then start with the aggro lane. I wouldn't mind it, considering that Treant Leech Seed is great, but overall you have 1 armor, so they're gonna beat you up quite a lot. But yeah, they decide it's not the smartest of moves, and they want to play the lane like this. And this lane swap definitely benefits Hellraisers, for sure. Because Slardar and the Zeus, I mean, they have some slow potential to kind of run away from the bat, but not that much of it. And yeah, Vazia, I think he now finds out what the case is, and him and the Faceless Void are just gonna be swapping out right now, but they need to walk. So this start is definitely gonna be quite nice for the side of Hellraisers.
Yeah, and just watching Hellscream, they're taking a lot of aggression coming through from Solo. And it is going to be hard for Hellscream, if he's going to stick in this lane, like you say, because, the Ice Shards comes out. Even if he goes for the Heavenly Jump, he's still going to watch out for the Sticky Napalm slowing him down. And the Firefly, just after that jump comes out, just being chased down anyway. So we can see that, Hellscream, if he stays in this lane, he might go for the TP, but the Ice Shards are going to be there, and the Sticky Napalm start to come out. He's only level 1, so he's only got the Lightning Bolt. He's not going to have that Heavenly Jump just yet. So he's going to be taking a lot of damage here, and Solo even going to be able to stop this pull.
Yep. And finally, Kiritich has gotten to his lane. Same goes for Vazia. They haven't lost too much, but wave or two, a little bit weaker there, especially with some of the denies coming in and the supports being zoned out. But overall, not the worst of things. It's much better to lane like this than to have your Slardar completely suffer. And the Faceless Void, I mean, he would do okay against the Bloodseeker, but you definitely wouldn't be winning the side lanes, which is something that you definitely have a chance of doing right now.
Yeah, and we'll see if... I mean, looking at the mid lane as well, you can see that Kyotika, he's just pushing onto Malrine here. And Malrine, he's gone for the 2 points into the Shield Crash, 1 into the Swashbuckle. So, he's actually going to be... The Astral Imprisonment comes right out. And Kyotika are going to be coming through a lot of mana here, just handling Malrine. And how important is it going to be to get these Astrals off every time that Malrine... Because he's got his bottle out now as well, but every time he goes for those last hits onto the range creep, or even to the banner creeps here, is that when you want to be dropping the Astral onto the Pangolier?
It's all about CS there, that's how you're gonna be looking at it. A bit of a mistake, I have to say, from Kiyotaka not getting a point in Arcane Orb. People usually do it because it costs the percentage of your current mana, so you can always use it and hope for the Essence Flux to give your mana back. With this kind of an approach, sometimes you're gonna have trouble if you're unlucky with having your mana, and we're seeing it right now being an issue for Kiyotaka. He doesn't have the mana for the Astral Imprisonment, allowing Malrine to be quite okay in terms of CS, but that's gonna change. I mean, as time progresses, the OD will always come out ahead.
Yeah, and meanwhile, in the top lane, how is this looking? Antares trying to do his best to harass back. Level 2, he's holding that point. He's not gone for the blast off just yet, because, I mean, the potential from the gank from Vazia, just being able to put out a... Get yourself in, crush. The bash is coming out now as well. So maybe the taser comes out from Antares at level 2 if he really thinks that's maybe what he's holding the point for. You go for... Once you hit level 3, you can go for a 1-1-1. But just be able to stop that aggression coming out from the Slardar with the taser. That might be a big tool here in the Techie's arsenal to come out on this lane.
Just in case he's saving it, but I don't think so. You basically want the blast off. You want this hero to do as much damage as possible. Just go in and blow someone up. That's the idea. And Vazia, I mean, he's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, you can see the Blood Right's going to be coming out now as well. Vazia's going to have to walk himself out, and they both walk into the blast off. Really nice blast off there from Antares. It's going to be a follow-up. The Sticky Bomb level 2 into that. Doesn't stick, though, to the Slardar, so Vazia, he's just trying to hang around with the living armor, but it looks like the Hax wants to chase down. The Crush comes out. Do they have enough damage to get the kill, though? The Blood Right's going to be there, and Vazia has to move himself away. He does get struck by it there as well. The Sticky Bomb this time. Will it be enough to get the kill? He's getting low. He's going to go down, and Antares picks up the first blood.
Very nicely done by Hellraisers. They didn't even use the glyph. They still had the glyph available there for that dive, but what enabled all of it was the double blast off. Just gave way too much movement speed to the Hawk, so he knows he cannot die, right? These guys don't have a long stun, and he's super fast, so these slows aren't really gonna be hurting him all that much. And then he pokes until he finds an opening to go for the kill. Of course, in the end, it is gonna be the Sticky Bomb that gets it, but very nicely done, like systematically from the side of Hellraisers.
Yeah, the Sticky Bomb's going to be dropped, but Antares, he's going to be dropped there as well. Dahak's trying to move himself away. The bash comes up from Vazia, but it is just going to be the bash. You know, the crush was already used. Dahak, though, is going to be careful about coming back into this because, I mean, you know, it is only level 1 on the bash, but you've still got to get yourselves away from Sobat. Sobat actually not taking a point into the nature, you know, the nature's grasp, so he's not going to have that movement slope to come out from the Treant Protector just yet. Meanwhile, bottom lane, how are they looking?
Well, Batrider is playing this lane really smart. He got the early advantage, and he's not even using the Firefly. He's just forcing out the time dilation, and now when there's no time dilation, now Nemiga have to be very careful about what they do, right? And that's kind of the way you play this lane. And Nemiga, you're gonna be seeing them every single time that the time dilation is on cooldown. They're gonna be trying to be a bit more defensive in this lane. So this lane swap from Hellraisers has definitely worked out wonders for them. When we look at it, all 3 of their lanes are going their way.
Yeah, even they might be able to do something here to Mero. Mero's getting pretty darn low. 2 points into the sticky napalm though, so he's just going to carry on trying to stack this up onto the Faceless Void. Faceless Void going to be going for the Hand of Midas. The Firefly coming out. The Snowball's going to be there now as well. He gets the time walk off. Can he get himself away from this Mero? He's going to get really darn low. The Heavenly Jump comes out as well, and Mero's going to go down, getting overly aggressive, and now Solo might be in trouble. Ice Shards in 1 second. Time Dilation's going to come out though. Do they have anything to catch up with this? And Solo just moves himself back to the tier 1. Ice Shards will be thrown out, so Kiritich taking some damage, but again, he should still be fine without the Batrider to get overly aggressive on this lane. Solo trying to do the best he can to soak XP, but Kiritich, he's just used the last of his regen, Hellscream as well. You know, he's not got any tangos. He does have a salve for himself if he needs it, but yeah, Kiritich all of a sudden having a decent time on the lane.
Yep. The thing about the Batrider is, yeah, time dilation is a spell that hurts you. Oh, Kiritich is in trouble. Okay, he'll be okay. But the thing is that with a Batrider, you never want to be low. You always want to be full HP, and that's where the Zeus comes in with the constant poke. You put him in a position where either he doesn't go, or maybe he puts himself in an uncomfortable position if he does. Top lane, the Bloodright, a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Bloodright comes down, but the right click's coming through from the Slaughter. Even the Air Shards, it might trap him in here. Snowball, though, they're going to try and drag him back. Dahak's going to be able to get himself away. The Taser does go, disarms onto the Treant Protector, but they might still be able to take down Solo. He did TP up here to help out his teammates, and he might just have got everybody out of dodge here with that Snowball. Malorine's looking on the back lines. Dahak needs to move himself back because the long-range Swashbuckle might come in, and it might be enough to get the kill onto the Bloodseeker, so Bloodseeker has to be really careful here now as well. Antares, he's out of mana in the trees. Ice Shards, though, it traps the slot out. Vazia, Snowball, they're going to try and re-engage. That Bloodright's going to be off the mark. Swashbuckle does come through. Solo going to be taking a lot of damage, but the Astral Kiyotaka finally rotates himself up here with the hammer. He drops, and he's going to be able to get the kill onto Vazia and Malorine. Can he get himself out of this? He might be trapped in the trees. Has that mana, has that Swashbuckle, so he's going to be able to try and get himself away, but Solo, does he have the shards? Astral Imprisonment will be coming out. The Taser, it comes out a little bit too soon, but the damage will still be there from Kiyotaka.
That's Solo literally winning that engagement for his team, right? Beautiful shards, beautiful Snowball, and that's it. That was everything that changed. And Nemiga, they are very well known for going for these kills, and because they had a war there on the hill, they really wanted to hunt down the Bloodseeker. Even saw some sentries coming out, whereas Hellraiser thought there was a war behind the tower, but in the end, you know, Nemiga just didn't have enough left in the tank, and Slaughter being level 4, not having that level 6 to kind of mark the Bloodseeker, give them that vision, is something that they're gonna have to be careful of, because Nemiga, for this game, they need to utilize that vision, so maybe just wait for the level 6s a little bit on the Slaughter and the Zeus.
Yeah, and you can see now that Kiyotaka, in terms of net worth, if we flick over to that, he's going to be 1,400, nearly 1,500 above the Pangolier here now as well. So Malorine, he's not had that start that he needed. And Pango, it is going to be towards the mana boots. So are you expecting here, Pango, with this not great start to maybe shift into that aura taker here, you know, going for the mana boots into the Guardian's Greaves, and then, you know, maybe something like an AC? Or do you still think he goes, but, you know, what is it that Malorine wants to pick up in terms of items?
We're seeing he wants the Diffusal currently, but I wouldn't mind him getting the Guardian Greaves, considering you're playing against the Bat, Seeker, and the Techies. All of those are long silences that you need to be dealing with, but I guess the best course of action for a Pango is Diffusal, and then just disassemble the Arcane Boots into the Lotus Orb. That is still a possibility for him that Malorine as a player usually goes for.
Okay. Well, we will keep an eye on the Pangolier to see what he wants to build up into. Kiritic on the bottom lane actually wants to go for the Hand of Midas, and it makes sense. Like we talked about it all through the draft. You know, the Nemiga, do you want to be playing this game a little bit longer, delaying with the train, you know, those tower pushes, so it will offer a bit more farm time for the Faceless Void. So he does want to optimize that here with that Hand of Midas. He's still going to be about 1,000 gold, 900 gold away from picking it up, but eventually he will want to go towards that.
For sure, but considering that Kiritic has a chrono, I would like this chrono to be used every single time for a kill. Because Nemiga, they should be aware that they are behind. It doesn't matter, just get a hero off the map. That's kind of what you want to be doing. Because Hellraisers, they're gonna be fine with slowing things down right now. And there it is, the chrono comes out. Yeah,
chrono comes out, the snowball, it's going to be there now as well to try and save onto the Batrider. Mallory's going to be coming in with the Rolling Thunder now as well. Can he get him away? Kiritic going to be a lot of damage. And Mero, can he get himself away from this here? Because he's even might try and go for Hellscream. He's going to be able to get it there. The last of the dragback comes out. Kiyotaka with the rotation down now as well. And the Furry Fire, it's not going to keep Hellscream alive.
Hellraisers definitely had a game starts. The first one that is TPing is always going to be solo. The second one is DOD. Solo to save people, and then if Kiyotaka sees that it's a good engagement, he's going to be coming in for the kills, and that's what they've been doing now for the past two engagements that the Nemiga have tried to force out.
Yeah, and we'll see. Malrine Snowball's going to be coming in to chase down those Solo. He might put himself in no man's land here. Hellscream's even going to be rotating in, but they're not going to be able to capitalize on the Snowball in from Solo. So Solo will be able to get himself out. Just goes for the long rotation out, and Kiyotaka again with the Astral Imprisonment, just to try and mess with it with Malrine at the minute.
Nemiga are gonna be much weaker than what they wanted in this game. You can even see the Slaughter going for a blink. Ideally, you would want a Mask of Madness as your first item, but he understands this OD is a problem. He needs to be jumped and he needs to die. And that is the thing. Their lineup is gonna be much weaker because they're not going for some of those, let's say, core items that you would otherwise want to have. So I'm curious to see if Nemiga will have the damage sufficient to kill the OD once they do jump him.
Yeah, and top lane, it looks like Malrine, they want to actually take, there's going to be the Overgrowth coming out, and it's the Swashbuckle now as well. Rupture's already been used, but the Crush, the Hack's going to go down. And can they go even further onto this? I mean, Mero's rotated, he doesn't have the lasso, so the Rolling Thunder is going to be coming through onto the Batrider, but the Batrider not stopping just yet, but it's going to be just, I guess, onto the creeps, you know, not chasing down, especially into a 2 versus 3. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Hellscream, he's going to be in danger now as well. The Ice Shards comes out, was that Walrus Punch, only level 5, so the Tusk doesn't have it. One more right click though from Kiyotaka, and Kiyotaka's going to be able to get himself his 4th kill of the game.
In the end, the mid lane tower isn't taking any damage, and I think you're happy with that one if you're the Zeus, because these rotations from Nemiga, you get a kill on a core, and you just rotate back to the mid lane. Losing one hero in the process, not that big of a deal.
Yeah, okay. Well, top lane. There's going to be the Blood Right coming through. Gets the silence off onto the Treant, protected now as well. Mero. Taser again going to be used. Vazu's looking for the chase down, but he might have gone a little bit too far. One more right click from anybody, and Antares is going to be able to pick it up with the Sticky Bomb.
That was miscommunication for sure coming out from Nemiga. Kiritic, he didn't want to go for that one chrono in a couple of seconds, and he should be fine, but that's something that shouldn't have happened. Now you can definitely lose a tower if you're Nemiga because of that dive.
Yeah, and you can see they're even going to be able to take down Sobad, so the Living Armor's not going to be there. 4 heroes, 5 heroes stacking up around this tier 1 tower on the top lane with a catapult, even with the fortification. You know, the fortification comes out, it's only a tier 1, it's only going to be taking down 1 creep, maybe half this creep's health. You know, you're still going to have that range creep, and the damage is more than enough to take this tower down in the lane.
Kiyotaka has the blink. He's gonna be the first one to get it. The first ones to open the map also are gonna be Hellraisers. So now it's gonna be much harder for Nemiga, even when they get the blink on the Slaughter, to hunt for people. Why? Because they don't have a tower on the top lane. That'll be a nice place to smoke to get 1 kill or something, and from there spread around the other parts of the map. And Hellraisers, considering the blink on the OD, they can be aggressive. They can be the ones initiating and kind of getting those kills, getting Nemiga off the map, and not being hunted, with that increasing their lead and ultimately winning the game. So Hellraisers should be very happy with how the game is going right now, and we should be keeping our eyes on Kiyotaka. He has made some defensive moves coming into the fight, getting the kills, kind of destroying, you know, the potential aggression of Nemiga. But now with the blink, he's going to be on the aggressive, and there it is. He goes for the Zeus.
Yeah, really nice ward. He's going to be able to get the double damage now as well. So the right clicks. Oh, the Heavenly Jump comes out though. Kiyotaka's going to be slowed down. He just drops the hammer. Okay, I mean, fair enough, you got a kill out of it. The damage was more than enough to take down Hellscream, and again, it's not what you're expecting because you are in the lead at the minute. You're dictating that tempo. So you can throw that out, you know, and then turtle up if you need to. Not expect a massive team fight to come out because the Faceless still does want to be farming up. He's got that Hand of Midas out now, going towards the Maelstrom, it looked like. But yeah, Kiyotaka at the minute, he's just dictating the tempo for every single fight, it seems like.
For sure, and he's gonna continue doing that because that's how he keeps himself alive. Or even if he dies, it's not gonna be a situation in which Nemiga want to find themselves in. So beautifully done, and they even forced out the Rolling Thunder in the top lane. So Nemiga currently, they're seeming kind of lost, but that's only until Vazia gets his Blink Dagger. Also, nighttime is coming, so the vision game from Nemiga having the Zeus is gonna be a bit more beneficial. So let's see what they can do with it, especially because Vazia, there it is, he gets the blink, and now you really have to do something.
Yeah. What do you want to be doing though? Because it seems like with the shards, the snowball, the astral imprisonment, the lasso coming out, Hellraisers have a good balance of that defensive and offensive capabilities. And it looks like even Mero, the lightning bolt's going to be there though. Is he? The crush comes out. Not going to be able to get that lasso. Time dilation is going to be used as well. There's going to be a really good dive in here from the techies. And the damage, Mero's going to be able to pick up one. They get two. Visor goes down in Hellscream. He's going to be the sole survivor of this gank.
That was a beautiful read from Hellraisers. They knew there was no Rolling Thunder. On the bottom lane, it's ideal for Nemiga to fight, but without the Rolling Thunder, they can't do it, especially being behind. So they bring more heroes there, and they just run into a potential place where Nemiga are gonna be. And they're there, they catch them, the reveal of the shard of the techies immediately catches them off guard, and Nemiga, they get absolutely demolished. So beautifully done from Hellraisers through and through. Again, the one that is setting it up, the one who is playing this bottom lane and calling these things out is Kiyotaka, and he has definitely been like the top player for Hellraisers in this game for sure, and on his OD has always been impressive.
Yeah, and it's like I say, he's setting the tempo here. He's even forcing. I mean, Vazia, he wants to go back for a Hand of Midas on the Slardar, which I get. Again, if they think this game is going to go long, but at the minute, I mean, Hellraisers, they're setting the tempo. They're taking the pressure to Nemiga. Would you prefer him to just go straight for that BKB and get involved in the fights, or does he need that Hand of Midas to start catching up?
Oh, it's tough to say in this game in particular, because Nemiga's early game idea has fallen apart completely. Do well in lanes and hunt people with Malrine and Vazia. That is gone, right? Have overwhelming damage with the Zeus early on. That is gone. So what are you left with? Good defense, good way to delay the game, and strong late game. So I think that's why he's going for a Midas, and I'm okay with it. I can't say I love it, but it is a decent approach that can work out if Hellraisers don't destroy it. Because Hellraisers have one problem, and that is they don't have tower push, but they're gonna have a very strong timing that Nemiga might not be able to deal with, and they could bleed hero after hero.
Yeah, and when do you expect... I mean, we can see Hack, he's going to be going towards his BKB now as well. He's already got his Maelstrom up. You can see he's only about 300 gold above Kiritich in terms of net worth. So Kiritich, again, with the Hand of Midas, he's got that catch-up potential. And yeah, you can see immediately uses that Hand of Midas. He's pretty much there, catching up with the Bloodseeker, going towards his own Maelstrom. He's got the gold in about another 100 gold, so another creep or so. But do you expect, you know, if Hellraisers take another good fight, are they going to be looking towards... Because they're already putting pressure onto this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. If they take that down and take a good fight, is it Roche time then for Hellraisers?
They could go for it, but mostly the... Okay, he solos him. That is something that... It's just not preventable currently, and that is why the Faceless Void, it was a risky pick. It's good against the Batrider, it's good against the Seeker, but it's bad against Burst and Hellscream. He's gonna be caught possibly as well on the bottom lane.
Yeah, it looks like Mero. There's going to be the snowball into the Zeus now as well. Zeus in the trees though. Heavily jump with it. He's going to be forced out. Shards and Hellscream's going to go down. Doesn't even need to use the lasso on Mero. He's going to be able to pick up that kill. In fact, there might be another kill here because he found the Pangolier. There's going to be the Sanity Eclipse being dropped now as well. It's a sticky bomb. The sticky bomb, does it latch? It doesn't. But Kiyotaka with a right click still gets the kill.
Yeah, he had full mana there. It was 100% certain he was killing that Pango unless he gets disarmed. But the hit was flying immediately. So what Hellraisers want to do, chaos around the map. Chaos allows you to open up the mid lane.
And it's going to be even more chaos coming out here. It's the mechanism not going to keep the train alive, and this is going to be the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Yeah, it's inevitably going to go down, even with the living arm, and the damage is just way too much.
Hellraisers, man, I was surprised in the tournament, the Crystal Show that was just before the new season, you know, just before the new year. They were the team that started off the tournament, I would say, on a bad note, playing against Nemiga. They looked weak. Their drafts looked, you know, like they were always missing something, but they were evolving from game to game. And now, you know, just like 10 days later, they're looking amazing against the team that crushed them twice with kind of the same lineups Nemiga played like they're doing right now. But Hellraisers, they're just improved. They've read their enemies, and now they're ready for them. And this is just complete and utter annihilation.
Yeah, 15-3 in 20 minutes. You've taken over the entire map, and like you say, Kiyotaka's kind of been the enabler in this. You look at his net worth as well, 11k. He's got himself the Ags. But I'm not trying to put it solely down to the OD as well, because there's been some great rotations. Like the TP up into the initial fight. We'll come back to this in a second, because it looks like they might be able to get themselves on top of Visor as well as Hellscream. Snowball into the Ice Shard. Solo might have put himself in trouble, but no. Anstress is here to back him up now as well. Kiritich, he wants to go for the Chronosphere. He does catch out 3 with the techies now as well as the OD. Can they turn this one around? They get the kill onto the 2 supports, but they still lose Visor there as well. But a really nice Chronosphere to be able to get the 2 kills there, and I think Kiritich really needed those. But yeah, the point that I was making, that Hellraisers, the TP up to the top lane from Solo, when he saved the Hack's life, you know, in that the early fights that were coming out, the rotations from Kiyotaka, even the rotations from the Takis, even hunting down, we saw him solo a Faceless Void. You know, Hellraisers, they've found the timings, they've found these rotations, and they've just been pretty much, apart from that last one, which, you know, big overdive, I think, you know, but the rest of them, they've just been so precise, knowing especially where everyone is and how they get those ganks off, that Nemiga, it's going to be a real chore for them to catch up here.
They were ready. That is the main thing.
Yeah.
They were just always ready. And Malrine, I don't know if he's living through this one. No, he's not. There's our answer. But the thing is that they were ready for every single rotation, and even that move into the triangle, there's no chrono, so Nemiga cannot make an aggressive play. And then look at how aggressive Hellraisers are playing. They are pretty much playing 3 lanes and 2 jungles, just because there's no chrono. So giving away 2 supports for that, I mean, you'll take it any day.
Yeah, you can see even Solo, you know, he's happy to just say he's going for his own Blink Dagger. Bottom of the net worth here on the Tusk. If they want to go even further, there's going to be the Astral coming out. So bad, does he want to try and come in with the Overgrowth? Maybe slow this one down. Has that mechanism as well if he needs it. Science Eclipse is going to be dropped. There's going to be a second Astral, though, coming out onto the train. And so bad, he's not going to be able to get himself out. Even throws out the Overgrowth now as well. But Vasya, he came in on the back lines. Is still going to be able to take him down to Hellscream. He's going to fall too. 4 heroes down. And Hellraisers, they've got everybody up. They even still have the Aegis on the OD.
Yeah, that's what happens. There's no chrono. You make a couple of mistakes, you go a little bit too deep, and you still don't even lose the Aegis just because you're that much stronger. So Hellraisers, they knew exactly what they were getting themselves into there with the dive in the triangle first and the second time as well. And look at Nemiga, they're putting so many sentries in their triangles, spending so much gold. The thing is, Hellraisers, they don't need vision there. They don't want to control that area. They want to murder people in it and then just go somewhere else.
Oh, they've even got the lasso onto the Pang lane now as well. The Hack's going to be able to get in with a Rupture. Swashbuckle comes out, and that just secures the kill for the Bloodseeker.
Trail of Fire and Trail of Blood, you know, both of those coming out there. It's not looking pretty for Nemiga, because they're like, just 10 days ago, this all worked against these guys. Why are they so good? And the thing is, you know, being beaten by you 4 times, you know, these guys, especially Solo on the side of Hellraisers, they have some experience under their belt. So I don't think that a captain like that is gonna allow himself to be beaten by kind of the same approaches to the game. So Nemiga, after this one, they are gonna be feeling a little bit crushed. But I think next game they're definitely gonna be asking for first pick. So maybe that changes things in how they approach the draft overall, and maybe help them get their hands on the Tusk or maybe the Timbersaw as well.
Yeah, and Solo, I mean, look at the wards. He is starting to ward off this triangle now, just as that Sentry Ward does actually time out. Kiyotaka, he's just having himself, again, still 50 seconds on the Aegis, so he's not scared. He's going to be going towards the BKB now as well. The smoke will be coming out from both sides. Who are they going to be able to find on either side? I mean, Nemiga, they're looking for... They're splitting up again, where you can see that Hellraisers, they're still in close proximity to each other. And this actually might be the opening. Yeah, they're going to be able to get the blast off once again. The right click's coming through onto the Zeus. The Zeus is going to go down. Marine comes through with the Rolling Thunder. But the Rupture's going to be there. The Blood right now is all onto the backlines. And Marine, he's going to go down. The Swashbuckle, that's just going to confirm the kill onto the high ground now as well. So bad, he's going to be Cliff TZ'd. And another 4-hero cleanup comes through from Hellraisers. And Hellraisers, you know, they're saying nobody beats us 5 times in a row here, as maybe the Christmas show was just them luring teams into a false sense of security. And in the DPC, they're coming right into this. They're starting off right on top.
Yeah, and also, you know, usually when a tournament starts in like its quote-unquote group stage, you're like, it's okay, we'll lose the first game. But in the DPC, it's different because it's basically a league, right? So every single win has kind of the same weight as the other one. So if being a start and you lose, it's not going to be feeling any better because it's the start of the tournament, we just lost the game. No, this feels really bad for Nemiga, especially they probably came into this one with high expectations, but then again, they didn't change much, and Hellraisers, they just changed their gameplay a little bit, and they're just crushing Nemiga. Nemiga usually aren't the team that does come back, but if they do, it's gonna be on the back of Kiritich and this Faceless Void.
Yeah, and I was just watching then that Kiritich was very cautious about, even with the tier 1 tower being close, about stepping up to just past what the river line would be to get some farm. You know, used the Hand of Midas on the banner creep, but apart from that was just hanging himself back, making sure that if he did come for top lane, they're gonna be able to get another kill onto Marine. And I think Marine, if we take a look at the death summary, that was all techies.
Look at the techies items. He has Boots of Travel too. He's literally saying, I'm gonna be everywhere on the map every 30 seconds and I'm just gonna kill every single one of you. And that is a solid approach because they don't have any tower push, so Chaos, as we mentioned, is the way to get down towers. And that's what he's creating with this kind of... I haven't seen this forever for someone to rush the bots too.
Yeah, they tried to get the Cliff onto the Slaughter. He's still going to be pushed up there with the Flame Break, but Hellscream, he's going to be in trouble as well with the Wolf's Punch. Has he gone too far here, Solo Kiyotaka? He does get the kill onto Vazia, but the BKB comes out from Mero. He's already used that last dose, and they're not going to have the lockdown here for the Faceless Void. He's just going to go for that TP out with the BKB. So at least you force out a BKB on the Faceless Void, but you do still lose the Slaughter there as well for the lasso.
And look at Melrine is again being hunted. He knows. Look at how he knows. Even they're coming to TP because they're like, okay, the techies is coming to blow me up. That's a level 17 techies and a 14 level mid Pango. I mean, when you look at the net worth, you just understand how crushed Nemiga are in this game. Slaughter has a Midas, but those golden hands, they're gonna need at least another 20 minutes to really pay off in this one.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. At this point, he probably would have most of his BKB. Hellscream, there's going to be the Blood Right coming through now as well. Do they have enough damage to take down at least the Techies with the Thunder God's Wrath being dropped? The Chronosphere comes out. It does actually trap up onto the Trekkies. Backlines as well. Mero's going to go down. The Hack, though, they didn't actually want to go onto the Bloodseeker inside that Chronosphere, and you can just see that Kiritich has to back himself away. Do they want to carry on coming through? There is going to be the buyback from the Techies, like I say, with the Boots of Travel too. He's immediately going to be into this fight, and Marin, he has to swashbuckle himself down to the cliff, but the blast off, Antares still gets the kill. And they lose the Batrider. The buyback comes out from the Techies there as well, but they take down the Pangolier once again. And you can see that Sobad, he's trying to do his best just to cut this wave, but Solo's going to be able to come in with the Snowball, and they're going to be able to do the damage. And now, if they want to, maybe go into this tier 2 tower in the top lane.
Get out there on the Slaughter. Yeah, there is no Chrono, but they did force out the buyback on Antares, so that's quite nice. At least it's gonna allow the Pango maybe to get over the net worth of the Techies. I know that it's not the best goal in the world to strive for, but you know, it is something.
Yeah, and excuse me, looking at this, I mean, Kiyotaka, the Faceless Void is catching up to his net worth, but Kiyotaka is sitting, you know, he's going to be going towards a Sheepstick now as well, with the BKB, with the Ags, with the Blink Dagger. Just how do you get to this hero? He's 10-0 and 5.
You use his BKB, you wait for him to use it, and then you mark him with the Slaughter and jump him with the Faceless Void. Pop the BKB, and then he dies. That's kind of the move that Nemiga are going to be striving for. Look at this poor Slaughter. I mean... And the thing is, what Kiyotaka is trying to do, he's trying to force out DPs. He's not even going for a kill. You could see the scan there behind, because you want Nemiga to lose their cool. But Nemiga aren't doing it, which is pretty nice, showing that they still have a chance to come back in this game, even though it looks really tough to do.
Yeah, and meanwhile, again, they're going to be going in. The lasso comes off now. It's going to be onto the Faceless Void. Do they have enough damage to take him down? Kiritich, he pops that BKB and the lasso's already gone. Kiyotaka wants to be coming in, but Solo, they might just try and disengage here. The only thing to just come through. It's going to keep Tusk alive. Is it going to be able to get the kill though? Tusk trying to get himself out. The Thunder God's Wrath will be dropped and Solo will go down. Marine gets the kill. So with Hellraisers being a little bit split up there, even though they tried to engage on that fight, Nemiga just being grouped as 5 have enough to keep everybody alive and take that kill at least onto Solo.
And they go for a smoke, and now we're seeing a little bit of downsides of Hellraiser's lineup where they can't take down towers because they're so much stronger, but they still can't do it.
Yeah, and we'll see how exactly. I mean, Roche is going to be coming up in 40 seconds now as well. So this would be the perfect timing for Nemiga to get back into this game. If they can get 2 or 3 kills, they're going to be able to get the blink onto the Batrider. The BKB comes out, but the bash is there from the Slardar now as well. Faceless Void has the Chronosphere, but the Astral is going to keep him locked down for a lot of this Chronosphere. The damage, is it still going to be off? Miro, he's getting low. He's going to be taken down. One more right click from anybody. Vizu, though, he does get ruptured, and the Silence's Eclipse comes out. Kiyotaka gets the kill onto 2. And now to Hack, he's going to go for the chase. Hellscream. He doesn't have that heavenly jump. He's going to be chased down. Yeah, you can see Kiyotaka. He just wants to jump himself in. With the Astral, this should be a kill onto the Zeus.
You go a little bit too deep. That's the thing. As the Void got the BKB there and Hellraisers going in, that pretty much happened now. The Batrider gets jumped, but you don't have any long lockdown. He pops the BKB. It creates enough time and space for Hellraisers to do so well. And this is the thing: if you're not jumping the OD and you don't know exactly where he is, you're most likely losing that fight. And now it allows Hellraisers to go for the Roche. And you know, Unlike Hellraisers, Nemiga don't have a techies to put a mine in to know that this is happening, but they were pretty much not even in a position or a chance for them to fight that one either way.
Yeah, and 31-9 here. Hellraisers, they're just taking every single fight. Nemiga are getting scraps out of every other fight, it seems like, but at the minute, Hellraiser's completely running this game, so you can see that they are starting to put pressure onto this tier 2 tower now as well. The catapult's even going to be there as well. The Bloodright comes out just to spot behind the tower. There is going to be the ward though to spot out onto Kiyotaka as he moves himself in, but he's got a minute, 4.5 minutes on the Aegis. Still going towards the Hex as well, probably able to buy out for that if he wants to very, very soon. So higher ground, Nemiga do have the Zeus, so they have the Arc Lightning, or they have the Swashbuckle coming out from the Pangolier as well. Even the Nature's Grasp if they really need it. But how do Hellraisers, do they just look towards the other tier 2 towers on the map then?
Yes, that is what you do. For Hellraisers, this kind of a lineup that they are running, especially against the Treant Protector and the Zeus, it has to be done systematically. You can make one mistake, lose a big fight, give a lot of experience and gold to the enemies, and just lose against the Faceless Void. You don't want that to happen. You want to get your items faster than your opponents, and it's actually surprising that they managed to only get slowed down by the lackings of their lineup 27 minutes into the game. They couldn't take the tier 2, but then you win a fight, you get Roche, and you are going to be able to do it, and now you're going to be able to get a kill.
Yeah, and you can see that Nemiga, everybody but the Pangolier was outside of the base there, so they see the Pangolier, they just get a quick jump in, and as soon as you get that lasso off, the TPs have to come in, because they're outside of the base, the TPs don't even come in, and there was no way to keep Pango alive. Pango has to buy back into this, but they're still going to be losing the tier 3. And it looks like even, top lane, Antares, he's diving in, and Kiritich, he doesn't want to waste the BKB, or, excuse me, use that BKB to keep himself alive, so he just has to go for the TP away. He is going to go towards that Lincoln Sphere to make sure that next time the Chronosphere is up, he doesn't get astraled off, he can pop that BKB and he can try and get a kill. But you can see that Kiritich, he's learning these lessons a little bit too late as they happen. He has to react to them afterwards, and even though he's sitting on just below 1,000 gold from the Bloodseeker, it just doesn't feel like he has the same impact that the Bloodseeker has that Kiyotaka's having as well.
And now there's a Hex on the OD, so even more kill potential for Nemiga. Usually, when you're spreading the map like this, you're like, okay, Techies is missing, we can live. But basically, Techies is missing, you can't do anything. Batrider is missing, you can't do anything. And the OD is missing, you can't do anything. So you always have to be on your toes. So that's why you go for a smoke right now. You need to get out of your base, get a kill to get a little bit of breathing room for yourself.
Yeah, smoke breaks. They are going to be seeing Kiyotaka. The Crusher is going to be there, but where's that follow-up? Everybody else had walked themselves away. Swashbuckle now as well into the Astral, and you can see that Hellraisers solo. He's leading the line to catch up to his teammate now as all the ice shards. They are going to push back onto Vazir, but Vazir is caught out in no man's land. One more right click from Kiyotaka. It should be enough with the Astral imprisonment to secure the kill onto the Slaughter, and Kiyotaka, he's just waiting, just making sure, just confirming that kill.
That was one of the smokes that you're hoping to find the support, just to alleviate the pressure a little bit. You find the OD, which otherwise would be a perfect target, but considering his net worth and the Aegis, you know that it is not a fight that you can take. You take that fight and you lose the game. But the thing is that your lineup just cannot lose Raxes this early to this kind of lineup, because that's a lost game as well.
Yeah, and that's just going to be, it's going to be a lane of Raxes. No buyback. They know the Pangolier, he had to buy back after being ganked in onto the high ground. And Hellraisers, they're going to have free reign to push out if they want to. I mean, Kiritich is trying to do his best to push out, find his farm, make sure he gets that Lincoln's. How far is he off it? He's got the gold for it now if he wants to buy out, which might be the big impact item, you know, because Chronosphere is up. If they can wait 56 seconds for Pango to be back up as well, they might be able to get something out of this, but it did still cost them a Rax.
Yeah, definitely did. He is level 20 also on the Faceless Void, so the attack speed talent in the Chronosphere is there as well, but it still has to be, you need to wait for the Aegis to expire, and it has to be the OD that gets caught. Like, there's no other way. If that's not the case inside of the fight, you're still losing it if you're Nemiga, because the saves from the OD are gonna be coming through in the Chrono. And we talked about the vision game from the Zeus, from the Slardar, but it really doesn't matter when you are so far behind in terms of towers. I mean, they've only taken one, and they've lost pretty much everything.
Yeah, and it looks like there's gonna be another kill onto the Slardar now as well. The rotation comes out, and Slaughter, being out here on his own, just gets caught up by 4 heroes. He's just going to be killed off.
It's very tough for Nemiga. Wherever they go, you have to push out the lanes to make a move. If you try to push out lanes, you're immediately caught. Look at Antares on the top lane, and he knows he can join his team. He has a BKB. I mean, this Techies is a beast. He has more farm than Miero as well, and he's approaching the Faceless Void. I mean, when you look at him, if you're Nemiga, you feel like the game is over. You're gonna try, but man, this guy just kills any of your cores, apart from the Faceless Void, who needs to pop a BKB to live, most likely.
Yeah, and that just shows the confidence of the side of Hellraisers, that the position for Techies, he's fine going into the lane and looking for a solo push as well. Sobad has to be careful because he's still going to be taking damage from the Techies. Not going to be enough to cut the Treant down. You can see that Techies not sure where anyone else is, so he is playing it safe. You know, he's backing himself away. But this is just creating space for the side of Hellraisers to take the other tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Double catapult wave coming in as well, so this tier 3 is going to be taking some harass from this creep wave, and you can see that Nemiga aren't rushing to defend this either. In fact, Treant, he might even go down to the Techies. Antares, does he have the damage? Mech has to be popped. The sticky bomb, it's not going to latch. And Sobad has to move himself away. Kiritich now moves himself in, but he's just going to go for the TP. Yeah, you can see that Antares, again, buying space, buying time, and he has those bots too, so he can just catch up to the rest of his team if he needs to.
Look at the Hawk forcing out the glyph, just going super aggressive. You can see how much emphasis both of the teams are putting on those Tinker wards close to their base, because both of the teams need to push in the lanes, Hellraisers aggressively, and Nemiga, they would like to control that so that the Treant with the blink can push out the lane safely and they can go for a play. But with Hellraisers controlling at least one of those, they're going to be fine, and now they forced Nemiga into their own base, allowing themselves to do whatever they want. Right now, it's just free reign to push out all of the lanes on the map and just wait for anyone of Nemiga to poke their head, nose, whatever, foot out the base, and then they just die.
Yeah, and the Hag now, he even has that Abyssal Blade, the Witchbane as well. Going to be great coming up against someone like the Zeus to do the damage. Even, you know, taking away, I mean, the Faceless Void doesn't have the biggest mana pool. He doesn't have anywhere near the biggest mana pool with 800 mana, but it's still just that additional damage from anybody, on anybody to take them down. Being able to get that self-purge as well, that's going to be really nice up against, like, the Slaughter.
For sure. for sure, but at least the Slaughter will get the BKB, so he is following the footsteps of the techies. Not really closely because he has 10k net worth and the techies has 18, but at least you don't have that exact same info. But Nemiga, they understand how far behind they are. They know the only one that is going to be doing damage is Kiritich. That's why I would want Kiritich to not get the Skadi. Just get a Daedalus. Get something that kills people and hope that it is going to be the OD that is in your chrono. Because without that kind of a scenario, they don't win. That's just it. Probably they don't win in any scenario here, but we have to find ways for, and they have to find ways for them to potentially win this game. With 2 Midases, it's not out of the question that they can do it.
Oh, the Force after the Lincoln Sphere is going to be broken. Mero has to get himself away from this, but the Chronosphere comes out, whereas the OD's going to be close. They still lose the bat, though, and the Astral doesn't come out here from Kiyotaka, so this might be the setup that they needed, but the Chronosphere is already down, and Solo, he's going to be moving in. Vizzy, the War's Punch does come through backline, so Sanity Eclipse is going to be dropped, and so will the Faceless Void. Vizzy is going to go down, and it looks like even with the Root coming through, Anthrax, he's just trying to dive onto the high ground. They even take down the train. That's going to be 3 heroes dead. No buyback coming out from the Faceless Void either. And Nemiga, they're just going to call GG. They know they have no way back into this game.
The game is over. I think, you know, Hellraisers, they did make, you know, a couple of slight mistakes in this game in the sense of using their spells and items. But in terms of movements, in terms of ideas of how to play against Nemiga, how to play their own lineup, how to play against Nemiga's lineup as well, it was perfect. Like, pitch perfect for sure. You know, there, Miero, he pops the BKB. If he doesn't, he lives because he's gonna get astraled. But he pops the BKB, and because of it, he dies. He uses the Force Staff on himself, doesn't break the Lincolns with the Force Staff, so the Faceless Void cannot get lassoed. So, you know, those kind of things, when they're completely, like, disregarded in the game, not really making any kind of difference, you know that you have been crushed in terms of movements. And Hellraisers, they came in with a tactic, they knew what to do. It wasn't easy to execute because it still took them 40 minutes with completely decimating Nemiga, but they knew exactly what to do, and Nemiga were helpless.
Yeah, and we can see now, I mean, looking at the graphs, the experience, the net worth, there was a win probability swing in favor of Nemiga to start with, but everything else just climbs in favor of Hellraisers here in the post game graphs, and it looks like that Hellraisers 38-10 never really had any major issues in this game. Kiyotaka with the rotations early on as well, Solo with the life saving rotations, everything. The timing from Hellraisers was absolutely perfect.
Solo was a beast in this game. Him and Kiyotaka, the dynamic duo for me, have won it for sure. Kiyotaka a little bit more flashy, and Solo there in the early game, it was his moves and his understanding of where he needs to TP that kind of landed them that early game victory.
Yeah, and guys, that is going to be game number 1, but we do have at least one more game to come up between Hellraisers and Nemiga, so we are going to be taking a quick break as we get towards that second game, so stick with us and we'll be back right after this.
EGB, your esports betting world. The only place to find the widest choice of popular games and matches to win real money. Choose your bet on a single event or express of several matches with dizzy odds. Serving the market for 7 years with over 800,000 users. Join now to get your bonus for the first deposit up to $600. EGB, you know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the second game of Hellraisers versus Nemiga. That first game, it was a bit brutal to watch for the side of Nemiga, but Hellraisers, they had that timing down. They looked perfect in that and hurry. We saw Kiyotaka kind of enable again. I think this is something that we saw in the old BetBoom side, where Lal was the one that enabled the hack. And it's something that Kiyotaka seems to be doing here as well. Being able to play that early game aggressive hero, even from the mid lane, that just creates space for Dahak. And do you think that here Nemiga, do they need to focus now on Kiyotaka? Maybe rotate some supports into that mid lane and put the pressure on him before the game really gets going into that mid game level?
First of all, the Hawk didn't really need to be enabled in the last game. He didn't do much, He comes to a fight, he ruptures the Slaughter or the Pango, and he comes out. There was only one time where he ruptured the Faceless Void, where he made a mistake. Other than that, the Hawk had a walk in the park, a carry's wet dream. You're staying there and you're just hitting creeps. That's what he did. When it comes to who you focus on the Hellraiser side, I think that both Kiyotaka and the Hawk can kind of carry the early game and the late game if need be. So I think you have to be playing better all around. I think Nemiga, their approach to the game should mainly be, let's not allow ourselves to lose the lanes that much, because that set a pace that they couldn't come back from at all. So if you're getting stronger lanes on paper, you really have to be careful of those lane swaps. So I think that's kind of the first thing that went wrong in the previous game, that it was their own fault, right? Hellraisers, they did a lot of things well, so you can't really say, oh, Nemiga, you played badly and that's why you lost, because that definitely wasn't the case. But what did happen, that was their own fault, was that they lost the lanes that they otherwise should have gone at least even in, right? The side lanes I'm talking about, not the mid lane. And that kind of set the pace of the game that wasn't beneficial to them. So I'm kind of hoping that, first of all, that's the thing they deal with, and then as the game progresses, you see who you're going to be targeting, the Hawk or Kiyotaka.
Yeah, and are you expecting then, because, with the OD being that final pick, looking so good, is that just a surprise pick that you're not expecting Hellraiser to pull out? Or would you expect then Nemiga to be wary of this and maybe give it a respect ban? Maybe in the second phase, maybe not the first phase, but in that second phase, if it is still there, take that out from the draft?
Yes, OD, I don't think it's a surprise pick. Because Hellraisers have had a lot of success with it in previous games, previous tournaments, and I'm expecting it to be the case in scrims as well. Of course, we don't have any info about those, but I would expect that Kiyotaka has played those and has played some pubs. These guys, they're all, top MMR, they get into pubs together, so you know who you're up against. So I would be very surprised if once Nemiga saw the OD, they were like, oh no, OD, what are we gonna do? They thought they were prepared for that hero to potentially come out. Maybe they thought, okay, they're not going to put the Batrider against the Faceless Void, but you have to be ready for some kind of different things, especially when Hellraisers have a mid laner who has looked amazing on the OD. If I'm not mistaken, that is his most successful hero, or at least from my side, me watching Kiyotaka, he has been the most impressive on that one, kind of setting the pace for his team every single time.
Okay, and we are going to be getting ourselves into the draft, so we're going to be able to see what's going to be coming out here from both sides. I'm really surprised that both the Lina and the Leshrac weren't touched in that last game, so we'll see if it comes out this time. As the Timber, the Rubik's going to go this time, the Brood's going to be taken out as well. And the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, okay, so everybody knows the Hack loves the Nature's Prophet. Hellraisers do have the first pick, so they do take down the Tusk as well as the Centaur this time. For Nemiga does come out, and Nemiga this time take the techies.
Okay, Nemiga are going for murdering lineup this time around. They're not going to be going for the a little bit more greedy, even though techies can be greedy, but a little bit more greedy position 4s like the Zeus and Rubik. Rubik, of course, banned out, but they're going to go for, we are going to win this lane 100%. Whatever you do, current meta heroes don't deal well with the Centaur. It's just how it works. And Techies, he's just there. If you misstep and get stunned by the Centaur, you get blown up. So I like this quite a lot. The thing, though, is that Techies with the Tusk and techies against the Tusk are two different things, because techies against the Tusk sometimes just doesn't work, because you always have the ability to jump in and snowball and save your teammates from potential explosions. So we'll see if Nemiga can make it work here.
Yeah, and we'll see as well. I mean, the Rubik's been ban out. That was one of the stronger lanes in the Christmas show with the sense. So yeah, the techies coming out offers something, not with the right clicks, but something similar in terms of the burst damage that can come out. No telekinesis so on the techies. Hellraisers go straight back for the bat, and Slardars to be banned as well. So Batrider coming out this early. Are you expecting this to be another? I mean, it was played in the the safe lane, but that off lane kind of like Batrider. Are you expecting this to be another off lane type bat, or are you expecting this to be this time put in the mid lane?
I think Miero has naturally been the Batrider player most of the times for Hellraisers. So considering that Eastern European region has always been a region where you kind of have these hero specialists who like to spam heroes, right? I think it's safe to expect, like when we see Malrine and we see Timber, where Malrine is playing Tusk, or the Pango, we assume that it is going to be him playing it. That's how we can assume that it's going to be Miero on the bat. I'm pretty sure that Kiyotaka can play it, but unless Miero specifically says, okay, I'm going to get absolutely crushed in this game, I cannot play the bat against that and that, then Kiyotaka might take over. But considering that, it's a mid laner versus an off laner, I still think that Kiyotaka there kind of gets a little bit of more priority from the team. So Miero will take the bullet if need be.
Yeah, and Silencer, again, one of those heroes that Nemiga seems to like as well. So they take out the Silencer. The Monkey King is going to be banned out here by Nemiga. And we can see that, again, the draft, quite similar to what we've seen, apart from the techies, really, coming through from the Christmas show meta, that these teams, the Centaur as well. Are you expecting to see any kind of the Magnus picks coming out towards from Hellraisers, or is Hellraisers one of those teams that doesn't actually like that Magnus pick?
These two teams don't like it that much. Other Eastern European teams like it.
Yeah.
It just comes down to what your offlaner wants to play, right? So Vazia and Miero, they can play the Magnus, but the thing is also building up a lineup around it. Magnus is not as strong as a Centaur in the meta currently. It's just that a lot of the offlaners in the Eastern European region are specialists with it. So I think Centaur is definitely going to be above the Magnus a little bit in picks and bans, of course.
Yeah, and just looking through the heroes that they did play, I mean, it slipped my mind, but the game that they took off Team Spirit here, Hellraisers, in the Christmas show, they picked up the, it was actually Techies, OD, Bloodseeker, Magnus, and Mirana. The Mirana completely slipped my mind. With this lineup now as well, from Hellraisers, they're going to have the Tusk with the Ice Shards, the Batrider with the Lasso. Would you expect here, Hellraisers? Because I think the Mirana, maybe in that position 5 role, doesn't look too bad. Would you expect maybe Hellraisers to trend towards this Mirana here in this next game?
If Solo is to play the Tusk again, Antares can play the Mirana. Yes, I think it is a hero that you want to be gunning for sure. But there is a lot of burst damage. But you're not going to be playing at Hellraisers because the Nemiga are going to get it. There's the so bad Mirana, most likely, because Hellscream has naturally been playing the techies. And that's quite nice. This hero does a lot of damage. So if it's an off-lane bat, you can always get away from the Firefly. And you can keep the Batrider low, something that we discussed in the previous game, as well as it being pretty important in the lane.
Yeah, and the fact that you've got the setup with the Centaur as well, if you can get a good hour off the techies, being able to blast off the damage that comes through, Mirana be able to jump in then with the Starstorm. So there is a lot of blow-up potential coming out already. The Enchantress is going to be banned as well. Nemiga, they already have that offlane in the Centaur Warrunner. Do they then go back? I mean, the picks are coming through from Nemiga. Maybe they are thinking this is going to be another offlane Batrider. They're looking at maybe setting up for the OD pick coming out from Hellraisers, because Hellraisers, like you say, it seems like Kiyotaka, he does like that OD pick. The Naga Siren coming out here as well for the hack. I don't think this hero was, I mean, it is trending up in the meta, but it wasn't the most popular hero in the Christmas show, as the Bane does come out for Hellraisers here as well.
Was for the Hawk. That's the thing.
Mm.
For the Hawk, it was popular. He would go for a classic build, Manta, Heart, and into a Butterfly. Just straight up, go straight into all stats. Once you get those 3 items, you just cannot die. You win the game. Maybe he would get an Orchid somewhere in between there, but that's about it. He always went for the same build, and no matter how many counters for the hero there were, he would still be okay. Now it's kind of tough for Nemiga. You have the Lash in the pool and the ability to ban out the Lina. And you have a Centaur, so it's great. On the other hand, you have a Ember Spirit as well, which is kind of amazing against most of these Hellraisers heroes, and goes well with the Mirana and the Techies when it comes to rotating towards the mid lane. So you are kind of put in a position where Lash might be better against the Naga Siren, but Ember is better for your lineup there as well. So I'm kind of curious which they're going to go for. Okay, they go for the Lash.
Yeah, and Hellraisers, they can still flex the Batrider into the offlane if they want to, So looking at it, the Lina probably a guaranteed ban here, right, up against the Lash. But what else here if you're Nemiga? Do you want to be banning up? Because the Tusk is already there, so the Tusk could be flexed into the mid, and we know that Tusks have a decent, just being able to get on top of the Leshrac, dodge out the Split Earth with a Snowball, being able to lock them down with the Ice Shards and get on top of them. Would you expect here that Hellraisers, do they want to be putting Kiyotaka on this mid-Tusk against the Leshrac?
I would assume so. Kiyotaka plays a really good Tusk, and Tusk against the Lash is actually quite good. The only player that, you're talking constantly about the Crisp Show, because it was a mostly Eastern European tournament just before the New Year's Eve. The only player who would crush the Tusk in a lane with the Lash was Quinn.
Yeah.
Right? None of the other ones did so quite nicely. So I'm thinking that you do want to put it there. Plus, when you look at the Techies and the Mirana, these are the heroes that get one shot. Even the Centaur is very low in armor. So I'm kind of cheering for a mid Tusk here, and you just pick up a other position for. Of course, Nemiga are going to ban out the Lina, but I think their next ban is probably going to be focused on a position 4.
5 seconds.
Yeah, and just looking through, what are you expecting here to be banned out? I mean, we've seen the Shadow Demon being picked up towards the end, but that was mainly towards Team Spirit. Looking through what Hellraisers have picked up, Snapfires, looking through the 2 trains being picked up in that draft, as well as...
Tiny.
Oh yeah,
Tiny is good.
Tiny is still there. They've even picked up a couple of Scarith Mages as well.
Scarith Mage I don't like as a hero in the current meta, even though it can work out sometimes.
Yeah.
But the Tiny I like quite a lot, because you have these heroes on Nemiga that like to run in Centaur, Lesh, and the Tiny slows them down quite a lot, creates space. Plus, he's a good laner with the Batrider as well.
Yeah, well,
So
okay, go on.
That's what I would like to see overall. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that would be so good on a position 4, unless they want to pick up a mid or an offlaner right now.
Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, the OD gets banned out here from Nemiga, so Nemiga potentially looking at this still going to be a mid pickup for Hellraisers. So maybe they are expecting this Tusk to sit in the position 4 as
Legion Commander.
Mid bet, I guess that's what it looks like overall. Though I don't know how Tusk Legion, not the greatest of lanes, but I guess against the Mirana you're fine, because you can just run at her. She can't do enough damage to bully 2 strength heroes. Okay, this is a cool approach, an interesting one as well, and there are no saves for the duel, so I think that might be the reason that they went for this one in particular.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you've still got to look out for the long-range arrows coming in, Split Earths, and Centaur Stomps that can deal with the duel. So I assume, I mean, the Legion Commander are going to be one of those classic BKB builders anyway, so doesn't have to worry about that after the BKB comes out, But Nemiga, they have a carry pick left here. We've still got... The Ursa's being taken away, but, we still have the big heroes like the... the Terrorblade is still there. The Morphin got taken out as well. Medusa that we've seen played a couple times. Never mind.
Time to pick some of these folks.
This is not gonna be... If this is a Blink BKB LC, I think Hellraisers lose it. But if you go for like Pipe, You go for maybe even a Mage Slayer to hit the Lesh and the Pudge. Something that how Tundra approached dealing with the Lesh and the Pudge, I think they have a solid shot. Though I have to say that I like what Nemiga have a little bit more. The problem with Nemiga's lineup can be that they can lose the mid lane and the safe lane.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be the case, right? They can still win those lanes. So I am leaning here towards Nemiga yet again, because their lineup really just makes a lot of sense. This last pick LC just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, and so I mean, looking at this lane, you know, in the mid lane with the Batrider and the Leshrac, how does that actually play out? Like, because the Batrider still wants to come in fairly close to get those sticky napalms off. You know, he wants to be right on top of the Leshrac to get the Firefly off as well. But the Leshrac, with the split earth coming through, you know, the lightning to slow down as well. Is this going to be a bit of a stalemate in the mid lane, do you think? And once the Batrider rotates off to get the ganks, you know, look for the aggression on the other lanes, does the Leshrac just push down with the Diabolic Edict onto that tier 1 tower?
Batrider isn't going to be leaving that lane too much unless it's for a farm or a TP to an overdive. I think Kiyotaka is aware that he cannot leave Malrine all alone. I'm kind of expecting there to be a lot of traffic in the mid lane, because both the supports on both teams are very good at rotating towards mid. But I would give a slight edge to Kiyotaka just because of a little bit more of a kill potential. But still, it's going to be the readiness of the supports, I think, that kind of decides this lane, unless there is a mistake coming out from either of the mid laners.
Okay, well, let's see how this is going to go as the Pudge pick as well. How well does the Pudge do up against the Naga Siren? You know, because I assume it's going to be the straight Aghanim Scepter to come out for the Pudge, you know, quick Aghanim Scepter into maybe a Blink Dagger. Is that going to be enough to deal with the mirror images that come out from the Naga Siren?
Naga hates playing against the Pudge. Your illusions don't do damage to the Flesh Heap activation, and he just kills you.
Yeah.
That's it. And even if you use the song and he's close to you, you're just dying, right? So I'm scared for the Naga Siren. You know, the Hawk usually gets his farm super fast, and then he just gets the heart, he gets the butterfly, and his illusions then don't die. It's just too big of an issue. But in this game in particular, you have the tower push, you have catch, you have disengage, you have the aura builder, you have the initiator, you have vision, or vision taken away with the Mirana. So Nemiga, they have everything with their draft. It's Hellraisers, they're gonna be needing to do some really nice things around the map, move as fast as they did in the previous one, get some kills, and slow down Nemiga so that their Naga Siren can thrive and win this one.
Yeah, and look at this ward coming out as well here from the Bane. One of the strongest, I think, early game wards, because it gives you the vision onto the lane, so you're going to see any couriers coming through to deliver, but you get the high ground, a lot of the high ground as well, so you're going to see, you know, if the rotations do come through from the Leshrac, you know, you are going to see that aggressive rotation coming through the jungle, and if not, you know, if it does come through the river, you have the time to try and juke that one out. But for now, there's going to be some aggression coming this way. I mean, Sobad's just trying to deal with these mirror images. The mirror images doing a little bit of scouting here now as well. Antares coming into this as well. Has to be careful. Kiritic just moving up, but Sobad hasn't picked anything up just yet. And we've seen a couple of Miranas go for the straight Starstorm at level 1 and not focus on the arrow till about level 3. How does the Mirana, especially with the Bane being here now as well into this lane, you know, to get some disruption off with the Nightmare, how does the Mirana want to play against this? Do you think it is going to be the Starstorm with this mirror image being picked up at level 1?
Yeah, especially because the Hawk is coming to that lane, so this is kind of weird. I expected Hellraisers to be okay with the LC playing against the Mirana and the Pudge, but they decide that's not the case. Kiritic even gets a nice hook, so Antares gets some nice damage being dealt to him. So this is weird for me from Hellraisers. I feel like the Naga Siren would be okay on top, but LC, you know, would do better on the bottom than the Naga Siren, even if the Hawk would suffer. I think this is just putting a lot of emphasis on the Naga Siren. They wanted the Hawk to have a good game through and through.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it is going to play here for Dark on this lane, as the D wards already started here on the bottom lane. Antares and Sobad trading off these wards. And what's he gone for? Yeah, it is going to be the Starstorm at level 1 here from the Mirana, as the mirror image comes out. You know, he can drop that if he needs to, which helps clears off onto these illusions. And yeah, Sobad, he drops it, and he's going to be able to back himself off a Pudge when he hits level 2 as well. The rock coming through from him, going to be even more effective against these illusions. And checking up onto the top lane just to see what's going on. Hellscream running himself away from Solo. Solo has those Eye Shards but Hellscream just runs all the way back to Vazia, and Vazia this time should have a little bit of a better game on the Centaur. Mero not really looking to trade out. I mean, he does have the 1 point into the Overwhelming Odds. Aishard's actually come through. Hellscream, he just turns himself around. He's level 2. He has the blast off. He has the sticky bomb if he needs it there as well. And there wouldn't be anything to disrupt onto that. Bottom lane. Could be a lot of damage onto the Bane here now as well. Antares can get himself away from this.
Nemiga are a lot stronger in lanes currently. That's just how it's gonna be. And there has to be Kiyotaka creating space in the mid lane, forcing people to go there to change things up. Of course, early levels you are gonna be losing to the Lesh, but Kiyotaka needs to make sure that he threatens the life of the Lesh. Okay, Malrine. Okay, he has to be TP out.
Yeah. And the Flame Break no longer, well, it's not disrupted TPs for quite a while yet. So, yeah, Malrine able to complete that. And yeah, Kiyotaka, only level 3. Do you expect more points into the Flame Break, or does he get a value point into the Firefly here?
He got the Firefly. The Flame Break is there just because he knew that with it he's gonna be doing more damage to the TPing Lesh. That's the only reason he gets it there. But you usually want level 4 to have 2 points in the Sticky Napalm and 1 point each in Firefly and the Flame Break, so that you can get on top of the heroes and kill them.
Yeah, Visor in the top lane. He's trying to contest onto these pulls, trying to get the sticky bomb comes out into Mero now as well. And Solo, you can see that Solo, he has to be careful coming in, especially seeing as he's got his courier coming in now as well. But Visor, he's not going to be shy about just getting in and dealing with these camps. It doesn't look like as Solo, he's trying to do his best to disrupt. But Visor, big tanky boy, not really too bothered about what Solo can put out in this early game.
He doesn't really care. He has the Ring of Health, he has the 2 Rings of Protection, so you know, his hand pretty much not a lot of space from any more rings any longer. And I mean, it's a very tough lane on the top lane, because Vazia, the Centaur is one of the best heroes in terms of last hitting. LC is good as well, but Centaur just has better animation. And you can see how Mero is, I don't want to say he's suffering, but he's not having a good time. And there's the move into mid.
Yep, they're going to be able to get the kill into the Batrider now as well. Hellscream, he tried to go for the... It doesn't even really need it. And even the boots, okay, Kiyotaka, going to be losing the boots as the courier does go down for the next minute. Malrine took a decent amount of damage here. No point into the Diabolic Edict just yet, so he's not going to be able to push onto this tower. But, I mean, the Batrider only going to be dead for the next 3 seconds or so anyway, so Malrine wouldn't be able to get a lot of benefit from that.
But there it is, you know, moves to the mid lane, you do kill Kiyotaka, but you are forcing supports to move away. So that's kind of what Hellraisers want to do. But Kiyotaka goes a little bit too deep because he got excited. He's like, I can kill him. No, you cannot. The supports are going to be ready. Now you would have like 60 seconds. You're going to be seeing the Nemiga supports immediately bringing their TPs. They need them because they need to be able to rotate there again.
Yeah. And you can see that, I mean, Solo is going through the back lines. He might try to be making a push onto the Lesh, but he's going to be shadowed by Hellscream. Hellscream just immediately sees him moving off the lane and just decides to follow him. The Sticky Bomb coming out now as well. Solo, does he want to try and do anything to this tech? Because he looks like Hellscream just going to be moving himself away. Both heroes low on mana here as well, so not going to be an epic fight for the history books as both players, they just decide that they want to back themselves away. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, the hack, does he want to try and chase down Kiritich? Out of mana, he tries to use, but he's going to miss the hook. Uses the Mango. Misses the hook, and now Kiritich, I mean, big tanky boy here as well. Got himself another Ring of Health. So he's got himself the protection coming through from these 2 rings as well, going straight towards these boots. And really, if you're on the side of Hellraisers, how much emphasis do you need to put on killing this? Oh, top lane. Centaur, he's going to get low. The snowballs are going to be coming in now as well. Visor, is this going to be enough to get the kill? It will be. Mero, only level 4, so there was no duel. But that was a really nice clean kill there onto the Centaur.
Kiyotaka, a little bit poked in the mid lane. Malrine had too many sticky napalms on him. But this is the thing. Kiyotaka pressures the mid lane. You bring some heroes there. You force the supports of Nemiga, and then you strike on the side lanes. Hellraisers for now, I mean, they're doing everything they need to do, basically. And now with that kill on the top lane, Mero is the one topping the network chart, and Vazia, despite some of the advantages he got in terms of CS, he's not going to be the strongest one any longer.
Yeah, and Mero, how is he looking? Antares, they actually get the kill. The rotation comes through. They're going to be able to take down that Batrider. Hellscream, though, tries to move himself out of this, just get himself out of the danger as the supports from the side of Hellraisers this time. Their turn to rotate in and put the pressure on into the mid lane. Bottom lane, How's he looking here to hack? He's just going to take this time to try and get some extra farming. But I mean, Kiritich, the creeps are going to be down. So the mirror images coming out. Kiritich, though, throws out that rot. 3 points into the rot. So he is going to be able to deal with these mirror images.
Look at the mid lane, like every single support is there. And Malrine, he wants to make something happen. This is how this guy loves to play Dota, but the hockey just read him like a book.
Yeah, well, top lane, though, they might be able to get some aggression. Vazia, Kiyotaka, level 6, but doesn't have a point into the last of the Flame Break, going to be pushing him back, and now the Ice Shard's coming through. Vazia with the Centaur Stomp, but they do still get the kill, and Kiyotaka gets the credit.
I have to say, both of these games, Hellraisers are playing better. They're just playing slightly better. Nemiga are doing what they need to, but in terms of speed, that things are being done, Hellraisers are definitely having an edge. So I'm loving what they're doing currently. Both of the teams know exactly what they need to do, but Hellraisers, they're doing with slight more precision and speed, and that's why we're seeing them get some of these kills and engagements going their way.
Yeah, and top lane, Vazia, how's he looking? I mean, he's got himself the Vanguard now, so he's getting towards that blink, and he's going to have, you know, when he gets that blink off, if the phase was coming out, you know, it is going to start, you know, Vazia on that path to getting aggressive, being able to get the ganks off. But what lane does he really want to be looking towards once that blink dagger's out? You know, does he want to be looking towards the mid onto the Batrider, or does he actually want to be giving some support either onto Kiritich? Because, I mean, Kiritich, when you look at the net worth, he's having a decent time here on this safe lane.
It's all about playing with Malrine. You want to be close to Malrine when he gets more of his levels, when he gets some Diabolic Edict, so that you stun someone close to him, you kill him, and then the tower falls.
Yeah, and Kiritich, mid lane, there's going to be another fight breaking out now as well. So bad. The snowball does come in and connects onto the Mirana as well as Mallory. Mallory's going to be pushed back by the flame break, but the Stampede comes through, and that is going to get everybody on the side of Nemiga away safely, well, apart from the Mirana.
Solo is playing a godly Tusk. What he did at the start of the previous tournament I watched him in, he played a lot of Undying. He was probably like, I'm old, I can't play these heroes, and then he scratched that idea, and it's looking like he's doing an amazing job with the Tusk. His spell usage there was amazing. He goes through all of the heroes with the snowball, kills the one that stays there, the Mirana, with the shards, and then attempts to go for more. With that attempt, they force out the Centaur Stampede as well. So very nicely done from him overall in terms of spell usage there as well.
Yeah, you can see that Malrine, you can see he's just farming this mid lane up, trying to push it out. In terms of net worth, you know, he is above that Batrider, so it's looking all right for him. And now he does have 1 point into the pulse, 1 point into the Diabolic Edict as well. So we'll see if he wants to go for the rotation. It's just going to be the Bloodstone. Standard build coming out for the Leshrac. And after that, are you expecting Blink Daggers, BKBs? What is it that Lesh wants to be pulling out of the bag?
I want the blink. I always like the blink on the Lesh. I think even this game, I don't know if you remember Quinn, one game he went straight into the blink just because he saw that his team can't make plays. I think it might have been a good path for him in this game as well. Of course, now he's already halfway there towards the Bloodstone, so that's not going to be happening, but he needs the blink. Him and Vazia are going to be needing to make plays because Nemiga, they picked strong lanes again, and their lanes went well, but they didn't win them.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't lose them, that's fine, but you did not win them, and that can be a problem as the game goes forward.
Yeah, you can see Answer as he's just going to be given solo XP here as well in this off lane to get towards his level 6. Not too far away from it as well. Kiritich, does he want to try and go for the hook? No, the hook, it misses! And that's going to be the immediate TP into the mid lane now as well, as you can see that there's going to be the fight in the river. Hellscream, they already get the kill into Malrine. They do get the duel off now as well. Do they have enough damage to take down the Mirana? It's going to be the winner-winner chicken dinner going the way of Mero.
And you only lose solo. The damage of the Batrider is insane. Malrine being greedy there. He wants the regen rune, but you can't regen if you're dead. You're gonna be coming back in your fountain, full HP, and yeah, this is just beautiful stuff coming out from Hellraisers all around. And that's again the Stampede being used. So now you have that time of like 80 seconds, 70 currently, to do whatever you want on the map and go for some kills. And we're seeing Kiyotaka. He's thinking about the punch. That might not be the best target.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the lasso either. There's going to be the duel in about 6 seconds. Solo, again, looking for that solo XP before Mero rotated down. So he's not going to be too far off the Walrus Punch, which he is going to be able to pick up now. And You can see that, I mean, Mero, this could be the Dismember coming through here, but the arrow is going to connect. It's Kiritich. Do they have enough damage? They are going to be able to get the kill into Kiyotaka. Kiritich trying to get himself away from this one now as well. The Ice Shards comes out. There's going to be the Moonlight Shadow, and the duel, it's not going to be coming out from Mero just yet, and now they do get it off. Hellscream, though, he's going to be able to get the blast off with the Blade Mail. Is it going to be enough damage? The duel, it won't complete. The bomb's not going to be enough from Hellscream to get the kill into Mero now as well. The chase down Kiritich. He's trying to keep himself alive with that hood. Is it going to be enough? Though one more right click, and Mero does get the kill with the help of Solo. They do turn it around, so the triple kill, well, 3 kills comes out from the side of Nemiga, but they do still take down on the Pudge, and they create space for this Naga Siren to just carry on finding farm.
Bad call to go towards the bottom lane with the Bat. Everyone is going to be playing around the Batrider, and then they come over. Of course, Nemiga are going to have a ward there, and then a hook flies out, and suddenly the fight is all over. The Pudge almost survived there, mind you. He popped his hood, but barely. They got another hit into him, and that's why he died in the end. But that is just a bad move from Hellraisers to fight around the Pudge currently, because the hero is very, very hard to kill, and your lineup doesn't have damage for him. That's it.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I suppose they couldn't have dueled the Mirana, because if they duel the Mirana, the hook comes out immediately. You know, there is the protection there from the side of Nemiga for that duel. But yeah, the Barrier just got a little bit too far away. LC going towards that blink now. I like that Lance of Pursuit as well, because the LC wants to be the one that gets aggressive, you know, chasing down the heroes, keeping the pressure on them, being able to get the extra damage coming through from the slow, just to get, you know, the extra attack speed that offers you, or excuse me, the extra attacks that will offer you because of the slow onto the heroes. But Mero, do you expect him to be finding farm to go towards this Blink Dagger, or does Mero just want to be playing and getting aggressive and getting as many duels off as possible?
You get the Blade Mail to fight. You are strong enough to get into the enemy's faces. So ideally, if you can, you're going to be in every engagement. What I would like to talk about, you know, speak about offlaners is Vazia. Usually we would see Retaliate only taken once. I even saw Collapse only get it once and then get the attributes later on. But the thing is, he saw that his Lesh couldn't go for towers, so he got that one to get rid of the towers, and now they're gonna be going on to Kiyotaka.
Yep, 4-hero rotation. They do make a move. They take down the Batrider. TPs are still going to be coming in now. Nightmare setting up. Antares, he has that Phoenix Grip, but it looks like a lot of damage. The Phoenix Grip, the Ice Shards, is going to keep the Pudge away from him. He can't get any damage off now as well. Where's that duel? No, the stun hit comes through from the tech and the damage. Is it going to be enough? Can he get the duel off now as well? Centaur's going to be dueled, but he's a big tanky boy. That damage, is it going to be enough before the duel wears off? It's not. And Mero still on 10 damage. An illusion drag back here, and Kiritich just barely hanging on with his health. But Mero, he couldn't find that duel that he wanted. He had to go for the Centaur. It keeps him locked down long enough to get the kill, but he doesn't get the duel damage from it.
Movements in the past 5 minutes have been slightly better for Nemiga, coming out from the mistake of Hellraisers of trying to kill the Pudge on the bottom lane. But the spell usage again from Hellraisers, man, that was some beautiful shards coming out. That fight was over, right? And then Solo puts his team in a position that they might actually win the fight. In the end, it's even, you know, 3 for 2, you know, not that big of a deal, considering that you're losing 2 supports on the side of Hellraisers. But if those shards don't come out, you just get absolutely demolished on the side of Hellraisers, and Nemiga go out pretty much scot-free. So beautifully done there from Solo to at least somewhat equalize the engagement.
Yeah, and we can see now a smoke rotation coming up from Nemiga. Who are they going to be able to jump on? Mero's in the trees. The smoke is going to break. Yeah, they're going to be able to see it. And Malorine's pushing in with the Diabolic Edict as well. They want to get something off. It's going to be the double stomp coming through. Blade Mail, it was already popped, but the song's going to be there. This is going to be a really nice setup. No, Mero, he's going to be taking way too much damage. The blast off it to come through. And Hellscream, he gets the kill onto Mero. Mero, he wanted to get himself away. Maybe sets up for a duel with that song. But the techies just being able to come in from such a range. They get the kill onto the LC, and now the arrow, it connects onto the Naga Siren. Naga, he's already used that song. Where's the follow-up going to come from? It looks like so bad. He just wants to back himself away onto the Mirana now. So they might be able to get the kill. No, the Nightmare, he keeps him safe from the Split Earth, and Solo, Ice Shards do get dropped, but he can't get himself away from the Pulse Nova coming out from Malorine.
The timing of Nemiga has hit way too hard. Ever since Vazia got the Blink Dagger, it has been go time for them, and he has been finding the right jumps for sure. He was even patient there. Some offlaners would just jump in, and no, he wanted to go behind the tower and just get those kills. So now they open up the map. The mid lane tower is gone. Kiyotaka still doesn't have the BKB. This is gonna be another potential for Nemiga to be even more aggressive. And you know, looking at the Hawk, he's like, yo, I cannot finish off the Manta. I need the Orchid. My team needs me. My team needs me right now, because if I'm not there for them, we're just gonna lose the early mid game so much.
I like that as well from Mero. He doesn't pick up the rune, you know, he's not sure. Smoke is going to break here, but it's up to Antares to create that gap close. As Mero, he just stops the farm. He's, again, looking for the duel, but you can see in the mid lane, it's going to be 3 heroes grouping up. The Techies underneath the tier 2 tower, and the Pudge deep in his triangle here, looking for these stacks, and Kiritich, he's getting towards that axe. He's not too far away from it. He's a big tanky boy anyway, so hard to take this Pudge down, and the rotation, or they might be able to find out onto the Techies, the setup. Snowball's going to be coming in now as well, but there's going to be the mass TPs coming out from the side of Nemiga. They already get the kill onto the Techies. Can they go even further? Stampede's going to be used. Marini wants to try and chase down. It might be giving up the life of the Bane, and the Bane will go down. And it looks like Hellraisers just want to back themselves away, but the chase is on. Maureen with a haste rune now as well, trying to catch up. Blade Mail comes out. He turns for the duel. Is there going to be the Ice Shard to Walrus Punch? No. The arrow connects. The damage coming through from the LC. It's not going to be enough. And they get the kill onto him now as well. And Maureen, they might be able to set one to Sorrow. Can they get the damage? Vazio, he's trying to do it. He's going to be able to get that double kill. And Hellraisers, it just wasn't the setup that they needed there. It was just they went in as soon as those mass TPs come out, yeah, they get the kill onto the Techies, but immediately the Stampede, the chase down from Nemiga, such a good response there from the side of Nemiga.
Hellraisers, though, again, getting greedy. I think you're happy getting the kill, getting 4 heroes in the bottom lane. Mika don't necessarily want to be on the bottom, but you just want to turn and fight. Just let Solo die and get yourself out. So that's, as I mentioned, the second time that Hellraisers get greedy, and they're gonna get punished for it. And also, they didn't go for the aura items on the LC. He's gonna go for the Blink BKB, and I don't like this.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage to Sobat here now as well, but that's going to be the Feast Grip down. Oh, Mero, he gets the kill. They're going to be able to set up onto the center. There's going to be the jump forward here. Mero, he's got that Blink Dagger, but he couldn't find the duel, so they might just go back onto Vazio now. It's going to be a lot of damage with the Brain Slap, the Snowball. The punch comes in. You can see that Mero is already away. Centaur, there's going to be the Orchid, but the damage onto it looks like Solar might be taken down. The Nightmare trying to keep him alive, but even Kiritich rotates in now as well. And the song comes out. The stun, though, onto the Tusk. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they're going to be able to get the kill. Kiyotaka, he takes down Maureen, and that's going to be a big kill streak going the way of Kiyotaka. Solo, the dive comes in, the duel's already going to be there. Do they have the damage to take down Kiritich? The damage, it will be there before the LC. He's going to be able to do the damage onto the Centaur now as well, and Vazia gets that stomp off onto the back right. The Hack's going to try and go for the TP out, but Hellscream, he gets the kill. They're going to be able to get the kill onto Mero now as well. So the 3-for-3 trade-off.
Okay, so Nemiga are 10 times stronger, and Hellraisers are outplaying them so much. The Centaur is jumping 3 times into the fight. First time to cancel the Bane Fiend's Grip, he gets silenced up. Now, before the song, he gets silenced up once more, and now he jumps again, and he gets silenced up. He cannot help his teammates. The Hawk is playing out of his mind, and while all of this is happening, Kiyotaka is soloing the Lesh, killing him, because, you know, when the Lesh is alone, he's not really all that powerful. So Hellraisers, just beautiful things coming out from them. Bad thing, of course, your Naga Siren is your win condition. You need her to be ahead, and that doesn't look like a Naga Siren that's ahead. 4th in net worth, not enough to win this game. The Hawk needs to ramp up the farm, but his team needs him, so it's a very tough situation for him.
Yeah, and Naga Siren now as well. He's going to be able to go back for that Manta. Still going to be a ways away from it, though, with the Ultimate Orb still being needed. And it looks like there might be another fight breaking out. The Nightmare onto the Mirana. Is there going to be any follow-up? It actually looks like the LC not going to be going towards the Mirana here, as Maureen going to be chased away. Do they have enough? The leap comes out, the Dust Reveal now, and there's no Blink Dagger from the LC, so they didn't go for so bad. Wasn't able to get that duel off, and maybe could have got it, actually, with the Bane being close, but I guess Nemiga, the rest of the team was close there, so didn't want to risk losing that duel.
For sure. Man, Bane against the Lesh is so good. The heal regen reduction 45%, and that's level 1 in Feeble. It's gonna be 60% later on, and that's gonna be a good way to deal with the Lesh. Lesh isn't really a hero that usually builds into a BKB. You want to skip it, but it seems like he's looking towards the Lotus Orb. He's like, I need this one. This is gonna be a necessity for me later on.
Yeah, and Antares, yeah, like you say, it's only the 1 point, but when that does start to stack up, it's going to be absolutely mental. Especially, I mean, even if you drop it on somebody that... Or would you drop it on somebody that's being dueled? Because the Blade Mail coming out from Mero, so would you want that extra attack damage from the Blade Mail?
You're probably not gonna use it on someone that's being dueled. I think the idea from Hellraisers here is that it's every man for himself in a team fight. They want a spread out fight where they don't have a concentrated attack. That's why LC is just trying to get those early duel damages to go his way so that Miero can't kill people. And eat an arrow right now, so he walks into that one quite nicely.
Okay, Nemiga at least are grouping up to try and put pressure onto this top lane, and Marine, big tower taker here onto the Lesh. So are they going to try and defend this here, Hellraisers? It looks like they're just going to give up some damage onto the tier 2, whether it's going to be completely taken down, because there's a catapult. Marine just had himself in the trees as well. With the Diabolic Edict, the damage, it's going to be enough to take it down.
They have to be careful though, the smoke is coming. Hellraisers, they want to fight. The thing is, when the tower falls, now it's going to be hard to find the right initiation. Yeah,
there's going to be the Centaur Storm coming through. They're going to be able to take down the Bane with a jump in the hook back, and the just complete decimation of the Bane. He had no chance. Arrow flies through it. He's going to split the wicket, so the lasso onto the techies, maybe to try and drag back into the waiting arms of the LC, but it looks like Kiyotaka just needs to get himself back from this, and Solo's going to go down as well. Nemiga looking so much better in this second game, so much more responsive, and the coordination of the team. Oh, Hellscream, the duel comes out, but the Centaur Stomp's going to be there. Do they have enough damage on this duel? In fact, it might be. It's still going to be the winner on Mero, and Mero just has to get himself out after winning this. Vazja trying to go for the TP. Again, big tanky boy. So he's just going to be able to stand and TP, get himself out. While this is going on, the Naga Siren is finding the farm, finds that Manta style here on the bottom lane in that jungle as well.
Oh, the deal one not only gives him the damage and gets him a kill, but also saves his life, because he got arrowed, and depress the attack that you get to after a one duel purges it off, and Miero is able to get himself out.
Yeah, Arrow's gonna fly through the TP, skin of his teeth.
Man, he was dancing around with the illusions, but not too well there, because none of the illusions took the arrow. Oh man, that was too close for comfort for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna get a pause. Looking. Oh no, straight back into it. Okay.
They
misclick.
Okay.
Misclick. Yeah.
F9. Yeah, that happens. For sure.
You never know. You might have your items on your F keys, or.
Okay. I'm pretty confident that no one has their items on the F key or anything close to it, but maybe they've changed the pause button. That I can go with. That can be a possibility.
You say no one. Have you seen Slax's hotkeys?
No. And now after that one, I'm not going to.
There's a great video where he shows Purge's hotkeys, and it's like, I can't remember, it's like P equals the dollar symbol for Midas that he picks up every game. It's just ridiculous. You need to go and look at it. It's the greatest thing ever.
Okay. I'm gonna do now. I was like, nah, I don't want it, but maybe I'm up for a nice laugh. Anyways, though, the Roach does go down. That's pretty big, because Hellraisers weren't able to take the tier 2 in that time, and during these 5 minutes, it's gonna be very tough for them to do anything. Plus, Lash has a Lotus Orb, so Enfeeble, not gonna be that big of a deal any longer. The Batrider is countered, the Naga Siren is countered, everyone is basically countered with that item.
Yeah, Vazja, they're even going to be able to get the kill into Solo. There's going to be the lasso coming out from the Batrider as well. Dragon Hellscream back. Does he want to try and go for the duel? There is going to be that Lotus coming out, and now the Fiend's Grip onto Vazja, but Vazja going to be able to move himself away. Answer is trying to do his best with the Split Earth. The damage, it should be enough with the Pulse Nova as well as the Edict to take down the Bane, and the Bane's going to fall. Kiyotaka, how did he try and defend this? Because Tahak, he's not coming back just yet. The Song's still 40 seconds away as well, and it looks like Nemiga, they want to try and invade and do some damage to this tier 3 tower. As soon as that fortification comes out, though, they just back themselves away, TPing down to the bottom lane as the illusions from the Naga Siren trying to put pressure onto the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. But Kiritich, he's just going to be down here with the Aghanim Scepter, with this rock coming out. He's easily going to be able to clean these up.
Hellraisers are doing what they can, but Nemiga, they are forcing out TPs, they're forcing out rotations to the enemy base, splitting the map, and then coming back into a fight. So Hellraisers, they need to use the slight time to go for a move, get a kill, and delay the Sagas. That is the play. That's why they're going for a move right now with 2 of their heroes.
Okay, oh, D-Ward coming through from Sobad, just checking onto the cliffs as well. Taki's on the top lane here. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be used. He's going to try and use the Blast Off just for that extra little bit of range to get away from the Batrider. The Batrider doesn't have that lasso. Already used it. Vazja, he's going to be close though. Did he have any reveal? The Sentry's going to be there. Was that blink in? He's trying to get him close. Mero, he's already used the Blade Mail now as well, and Vazja's away. So the duel, if he wants to go for it, he won't have that Blade Mail for the next 18 seconds. So maybe just trying to go for the right-click damage. The duel actually comes onto the Techies, and the burst damage is going to be enough to take down the Techies. Now the Nightmare sets up. You can see that Mallory, he's trying to come in. He's trying to help out his teammates. Vazja here with the double-edged damage onto Antares, but on the back lines, do they have enough damage against Vazja? He's still going to be in a little bit of trouble once that Lotus Orb does wear off. There's even going to be, excuse me, the arrow flies through. It's actually missed onto Solo, but the Centaur Stomp's going to be there with that Hoof Stomp now. Solo trying to move himself away, but Malrine does still have the damage to get the kill.
After all of that, there was one thing that happened around the map, and that's Kiritich and Sobath killing the Hawk. So even if that fight goes well for Hellraisers, which in the end it didn't really, you lost your win condition. So that is gonna be feeling super bad. And also, if you look at Nemiga, they are itemizing against Hellraisers. Hellraisers didn't itemize against Nemiga. This is not looking good. But maybe they can kill the Pudge.
Yeah, there's going to be the Centaur Stampede coming through, though. The duel isn't going to be enough damage. They're going to be able to get the kill onto Kiritich here. Mero picks that one up, and now the Fiend's Grip onto the Leshrac. Leshrac, do they have enough damage? The Centaur Stump comes through. They get the kill onto the Bane. Can they go even further onto this? Because Solo, Snowball will be there. The Lotus Orb up for Malrine. Going to be fading off now into 3 heroes. Ice Shard's connected, and Solo, he needs to move himself away, but the Techies blast off. They're going to be able to get the kill onto Solo, and now they might be able to take down Dahak again. Dahak's dead. 50 seconds. No Naga Siren. He didn't have the song anyway. Kiyotaka, he doesn't have the mana for the lasso. Trying to take down with that Firefly onto Hellscream. Hellscream's going to get low. One more right click. It will be enough. And now Malrine might be in trouble here. He's out of mana. Even the neutral's going to get involved. The Aegis will be popped, so he's going to be coming back full health, full mana. And it looks like Hellraisers, with the 2 heroes that do survive, just need to move themselves back. Legion Commander going towards that BKB. The duel's going to be up 114 extra duel damage, but he still needs to be careful about jumping into these heroes that are here on the side of Nemiga.
Actually, I have to say, it's looking bad for Hellraisers, but their fights, they're not that bad. The way that they're approaching them are fine. The thing is that on the Nemiga side, you don't have this one hero that if you kill, you're gonna be super happy. You kill the Pudge, like, yeah, the enemy carry is dead, but there's still a Lesh, there's still a Centaur that is gonna be crushing you. So this is looking very, very tough for Hellraisers, especially because the Hawk is kind of dropping down every single time in these bigger engagements. Plus, now there's the gem on Tamarana, and we talked about the division advantage. When you don't have towers, soon you won't have any vision on the map either. And the Hellraisers, at least the only thing they can be happy with, they killed the Aegis hero. Yeah. So they kind of took away a minute and a half of that timing. So at least they're going to be saving the towers in the bottom lane.
Looking as well, I mean, Solo, there might be another fight breaking out. We'll see that if Kiritich wants to lead the line here. Yeah, I was just looking at Solo's items. He's building into a Guardian's Greaves, but this is going to be like a 30-minute, by the time he's got the gold, if he doesn't get picked off, this is going to be like a 30-minute Guardian's Greaves, which still great for the team, you know, great for Mero that jumps and get those duels off for anybody being picked off as well. But it's really the utility of the Tusk here. Solo's just kind of throwing himself in with a snowball, dropping the ice shards and a walrus punch. He's just saying, right, okay, that's me, you know, kill me. That's it, I've done my job. So the utility here for the Tusk with these Guardian Greaves, how much is that going to really improve the survivability with the Tusk?
I mean, it helps your entire team because the enemy damage is mostly AoE, so you know it helps. You definitely want it, but you know it's not gonna dramatically change the game currently. I just don't want to see this Halberd on the LC. Well,
the duel, but the hook back could be able to drag him back. Do they have the damage with the Walrus Punch coming through? They might still be able to get. No, they don't have the damage on Tamarine. And now on the back lines, the Song is going to be through, but they do still take down the Bane. The Bane has to immediately buy back, and with the BKB, they still do a lot of damage on Solo. They're trying to keep him alive, but it's not going to be enough. And they do take down 2 heroes. Can they go even further? Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? What?
Yeah, it's quite nicely as well.
Oh, okay. I just saw him getting low. I thought my brain just registered he's not on the screen anymore. He must be dead.
You moved your camera away, so that's why. Anyways, though, Nemiga are too strong currently. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the arrow comes in. Snowball, though, he's going to be able to dodge that one off. The Snowball coming back on the other direction, though. Going to be dragging it into the center. There's going to be a lasso from the Batrider as well. The duel comes out. The Flame Break actually not going to connect, but the Ice Shards, it's going to be a nice mini arena coming through. The duel won't be enough damage to get the kill during that duel. Vazia pops that pipe. Snowball comes out again with a net. Do they have enough damage to take the Centaur down? They will do it, but it does cost them a range Rax.
The Lotus Orbs on Nemiga, they're gonna have a 4th one very soon. That is the scary part of it, because it's good against every single hero on the side of Hellraisers, but you can mess up. Double Duel can come out, which can give double the damage to the LC, or you could get pulled in with the Snowball, kind of what happened there. But I like the call from Nemiga. They're like, yeah, guys, we need to take the next Roche, so losing a fight right now would be really, really bad. That is how we lose the game. Our center is too deep. Let him die and get the hell away. So very nice call there. Sometimes the teams will just give get pulled in that one, especially when you feel super strong, and Nemiga most definitely do at this moment on the map.
Look at this as well. Kiyotaka, he wants to be finding someone. Is he even going to be able to find Mallory? But the Dismember, it comes out immediately. They have the burst damage. Is he going to be enough? No, he's got the BKB off with the Predator attack to keep him alive. The duel comes out. Walrus Punch is going to be there now as well. But Solo, he's going to go down. I think he's going to be able to get Mero. He does get the kill onto Kiritich. Can they go even further onto this now as well? Mari's going to try and do his best to split Earth now as well. Legion Commander, he's already used that BKB. 2 heroes dead on the side of Hellraisers and Sobad. He wants to try and get the jump in the point blank arrow onto Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka, he's trying to survive. The song comes out, but he's still going to go down. And now Dahak, he's going to be left with just the Bane. Do they want to go even further onto this? The illusions from the mirror images, they're going to be cleaned up. And Hellraisers, even though they're taking a couple of kills in these fights, or at least taking 1 kill on the trade, you know, when you lose 3 heroes, they don't have buybacks. This is just going to open up more and more of your base.
And your BKBs are getting lower as well, so you're going to be using those BKBs usually to kill the Pudge or the Lesh. Lesh you probably don't even try because you know that you're going to die, and then your BKBs get used up and the Lesh just runs you down. At some point, the Pudge might even survive that kind of a move onto him, and you're going to be absolutely destroyed. Nemiga should be happy. They got the glyph out. Maybe they can stay. I would say that it would be an okay move to get away, but if they feel like they can stay in this base and get their access scot-free, then they're going to do it, and there it is. They're out.
Yeah, they get themselves the full lane of racks on the top lane. You can see the Naga Siren as well. He did get the full Bloodthorn, so that's going to be quite nice for the Naga in these fights. But with the position on it, you know, the song coming through in the next 60 seconds here, Roche being up in a minute, do Nemiga just hang themselves back? You know, are they just going to be playing back, farming up, and posturing around the Roche pit, do you think?
Yeah, pushing out the bottom lane a little bit and then getting out. You can see that Kiritich knows what the line is that you cannot cross. You can't get close to your tower, so that's why Hellraisers are going for a bit more of the aggressive moves here. I like the Bloodthorn pickup because the Hawk understands who gets dueled needs to die, and they need to die super fast. Of course, it's not ideal because there's so many Lotus Swords, but you have to try. At least when someone is split pushing, they cannot survive for long.
Yeah, and Mallory, I mean, do Nemiga even split push this one out? Because it looks like they're really comfortable at the minute just to stick together as 5, you know. Okay, they're separating a little bit to find some farm, but they aren't too far away that if a fight breaks out, they couldn't react and get involved.
The Hawk is trying to make them panic with the bottom lane, and he's going to continue to do that with the item choices that he's going for. He understands this game is no longer winnable. If he goes like Heart's Butterfly, his illusions are still going to die, so he needs to be killing people. He's probably going to go for the Shadow Blade, then get a Hex and hope that he's going to be catching Nemiga off guard. But look at Nemiga, they know there's no glyph, so Hellraisers have to respond. So they're not even looking towards the bottom lane, but they're trying to force out the rotations in this way, and now when the Roche is up, they'll get it. They'll be able to TP to the bottom lane and then just run towards those towers. So everything working out quite nicely for Nemiga currently. They won't even lose a tower on the bottom most likely.
Yeah, you can see that they've moved themselves into the pit. Roshan, he's going to go down. This is going to be the second Roche as well, so there is going to be the shard coming out here for the side of Nemiga. And yeah, so you do rotate Sobad back. He's going to be able to clean up these illusions here with the Starstone, the arrows flying through as well, just to keep the control onto the Naga illusions. And it's only on about half health here, this tier 3 tower. So Nemiga, with the speed that they took Roshan, not even going to be bothered about this Naga Siren keeping the pressure on. And it looks like, I mean, the Tusk Solo, the outpost has been taken for the die, so if he needs to TP in, but that's still a 6.5 second TP in for the Tusk if he needs to get involved in these fights.
It's not easy for him to do so. Nemiga are just going to be walking together towards the bottom lane, and Hellraisers, ideally, they would like to catch their enemies off guard. The Centaur is not a target, though. Even if you had double the damage on this Legion Commander in terms of duels, you still don't go for it. I mean, look at him.
Yeah, the ward is going to be able to tie. It's just timing out now, but Malrine, he's going to be alone. He could be the target. They might be able to set up onto him now as well. The Fiend's Grip comes out. The LC trying to catch up. Where's that blink away? The damage, they might have it enough. Does he get that blink in? He is. He's going to be able to get the duel. The damage, they're still going to be able to take him down, though. The duel, it will connect, and that's going to be a double winner there for the LC, and the TP's coming through, but the hook, it misses. And Mero, he's going to be able to get himself away, so that's going to be the Aegis wasted, but they still get the Naga Siren. The lockdown comes through for this, and they're going to be able to take down the Hack.
this is the bad thing now. Okay, the Hawk is not that high level. Okay, that's good. He's not gonna have to buy back. If the Hawk buys back right now, you're losing your win condition. But that was really weird from Malrine, you know, to go completely alone. If there was anyone else there to give him another Lotus Orb or anything, he lives, he destroys them, and you just win the game there. But he goes alone for no apparent reason. Hellraisers, they knew where the place on the map to potentially go for something was. They kill him, so that's quite nice, but they're still gonna be losing their 2 last auto towers.
Yeah, and you can see the Bane. He's sitting behind the tier 2, but he doesn't have that Fiend's Grip for 40 seconds. Like you say, there's no Naga for the next 25, so it looks like Nemiga, they are just going to be able to put pressure onto this last tier 2. And you can see that even, I mean, we've not checked in with the Bite Rider recently. How's he looking in terms of items? The BKB, it's down to 6 seconds, so that's all the way down. He has the Witch's Blade. He might try and make something happen here. He does have to go back all the way back to the fountain to get his mana, but the Naga Siren is going to be coming back alive. How far away is that song? 6 seconds. So about the same time that the Naga respawns, that isn't going to be a bad timing here if Hellraisers, they need to defend this tier 3.
But the Pudge got the shards from the Roche. That's the big thing that we haven't talked about. So Malrine, even without the Aegis, can be saved quite nicely. He gets dueled, he'll get eaten, and he'll be completely fine. You look at Kiritich in his positioning. He knows exactly what his job is. Even though he's so tanky and strong, he needs to save Malrine. If Malrine is inside of the Pudge and the duel has been used, the fight is just over.
Yeah, oh, Malrine, eye shots to connect onto Malrine, but like you say, he is going to be fine. Immediately, the Dismember comes out, he gets gobbled up, he's going to be taken away and just spit out. So the Disco Pony, it's going to be fine.
That probably is a juicy treat for the Pudge. You know, some of us aren't done with the holiday food just yet. Pudge definitely going to be in that category. Nemiga still don't want to go too aggressive, but they as we mentioned, they itemized properly against their enemies. That's it. And when you look at Hellraisers, they don't really have much.
Yeah, look at this as well. They're going to be able to dive straight onto the Bat. The Bat even coming just a little bit out of the base. The Duel's going to be there now as well. But the drive back onto the LC, trying to get onto the techies, the damage, he still actually wins it. He's going to be able to get himself out as well. Maybe the Song Gem's on the deck, so he's looking to pick up the gem and just look for that TP away. Yeah, he's going to be able to get himself out into hacks, just making sure everybody on his team, well, apart from the Bane, who's dead, gets out alive. And the buyback has to come through there from Kiyotaka. Has that lasso still. So they might be able to... Oh, the Ice Shards, it doesn't actually connect onto Malrine.
Malrine is completely fine. Again, Kiritich, he just needs to go a little bit more back so that he can save his buddy. You can see that he's kind of the last one there. And ideally, they would want to catch the Pudge, but they can't.
The immediate jump on the Stomp comes out. They're going to be able to take down the LC. LC has no buyback. Tusk does. Solo's going to have that buyback if he needs it. But they're going to be able to claim, it looks like the full base, the full 3 racks here on the side of Nemiga, because they're not slowing down. And yeah, you can see the Shrek popping that Diabolic Edict now as well. He wants to go for this. He wants to put the pressure on the base. Maybe force out some buybacks, which the LC does get his buyback up now as well. Solo's going to be coming right back into this tech. He's still there for the next 13. Do they want to try and go on to the Pudge? It is going to be the Pudge that they go on now as well. Lotus Orb gets dropped, but it looks like the damage is going to be able to get the kill onto the Pudge with the Snowball coming through as well as that Tusk Punch, but it's not going to be enough to get it in the duel. They do still take down Kiritich, and now the Nightmare onto the left. He's just throwing out mana with the Pulse Nova. They do get the Lasso back underneath the tier 4 towers onto Malrine. Do they have the control? Where's that net? The net's going to connect, but it's bounced back by the Lotus Orb now as well. And Visor with the stump on the centaur. The arrow flies through, doesn't actually connect. It splits the wickets once again. Ice Shards, he's going to be trapped in there onto that Rax. The damage is going to be enough. The Force Staff though on Malrine, he's going to be able to get himself away from this. The Blade Mail comes out from Nero, but he doesn't have the duel. And yeah, Kiritich, he's right back in. He gets the kill onto the Bane, and it's going to be the 2 supports dead on the side of Hellraisers with no buybacks. The Song comes out trying to delay, but it only delaying the inevitable, it seems, here on the side of Hellraisers.
They're gonna get the duel in a second, though.
Yeah, do they have enough to get that duel and complete it, though? It looks like no. With the dive in from the techies, they're gonna be able to get the silence. The Hex was there as well. They get the kill. That's gonna be the dive back onto the LC. And GG gets called. We're gonna go 1 for 1 here in this very first game of the Eastern European DPC.
The only reason why Hellraisers even looked like they were getting a solid fight in there is because Kiritich lost his focus, or he's like, this game is over, why don't they GG out? Either way, he showed himself with the Pudge, he got dueled and he died. But ever since he used that buyback, it was quite apparent that Nemiga were gonna be taking the last lane of Rax, taking the fight, and ultimately the game. Again, in 39 minutes, so Nemiga, they stick it back to Hellraisers. Of course, it wasn't a stomp like in the previous one, but Hellraisers, ever since they went for that pudge move. Kind of, you know, those first moves in the first game for Nemiga, they went on the top lane to fight, and solo kind of hindered their ability to do so. They lost the fight, and then the game kind of went south. That's kind of what happened to Hellraisers right now. They went for a move onto the pudge. It ended up being a really bad one, and after that one, they didn't really, or weren't really able to do anything much in the game.
Yeah, and that is going to be it, guys, for this second game. But we're going to go all the way in this first series. We're going to go to a game number 3. But before that, we're going to be taking a quick break. So we'll see you after the break for the third and final game of Nemiga versus Hellraisers. Stick around, and we'll see you there.
EGB, your esports betting world. The only place to find the widest choice of popular games and matches to win real money. Choose your bet on a single event or express of several matches with dizzy odds. Serving the market for 7 years with over 800,000 users. Join now to get your bonus for the first deposit up to $600. EGB, you know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back. We're just going to go straight into the draft, so you are going to miss out on mine and Hurry's pretty faces. I'm sure you're all gutted, but we're going to go straight into this draft as Hellraisers. They get that Tusk. You get it on the board as the Rubik goes out, the Timbersaw goes out, Nature's Prophet, and the Brood. Nemiga go back for that Centaur now as well. And Hurry, we see another Techies.
Yes, I am really sad that people didn't get to see our faces, because I think that's the highlight. That's the highlight of everyone's day. You know, you're feeling down and then you see these two beautiful fellas, but yeah, Rob is like, nope, no happiness for you guys. Holiday season over. Yeah, it's gonna be the same opening for Nemiga, but a little bit of a swap coming out from Hellraisers. They go for the Death Prophet. That's an interesting one. I don't see this as a support hero any longer, so I'm gonna assume it's an off lane or the mid lane. So it is gonna be quite fun to see what they're gonna be doing with this one. But this is the first game that Hellraisers are gonna be putting an emphasis on a tower taking hero, which was definitely a problem for them even in the first game that they played. Even though they were crushing it, you could see that the towers not dropping, especially the tier 2s were a big problem.
Yeah, and looking through the drafts, the Death Prophet comes through. Like I said, the Monkey King being banned out, the Silencer being taken away here. Hellraisers just don't want Nemiga to get that Silencer. But we've seen this Techies run rampant in 2 games so far. Well, what's the... I mean, I'm usually asking this about a core, like a big impact here, like the Lesh or the Sniper coming out or something like that. But how do you play around this Techies?
Okay, I'm gonna be, you know, I'm all this big genius and all, but I have to be honest, when I get into the game, even when the Techies was changed, just out of habit and PTSD, I always ban the hero. So even with my billion games played in Dota, I don't have many on them played against Techies. I wouldn't play it ever, because just out of principle. So I don't know. But basically, you know, playing against the Techies, you want to make sure that you are not the one getting initiated on. So in my mind, it's you get either a save behind you or you get better vision. So those are kind of the 2 I see right now. For now, Hellraisers don't have neither, but they have a Death Prophet, which is a hero that goes well with saving type heroes. That's kind of how I would approach it as a drafter.
Okay, well, we'll see what Hellraisers actually want to go for. They ban out the Slark again. Taking that one away, I mean, Nemiga Kiritich, he's not too bad on that Slark there as well. You know, he's one of those heroes players that likes to get aggressive, isn't shy of going for those rotations, looking to get it. Like we talked about in the first draft as well. We've not seen it we didn't see it on the Faceless Void, but if there is a fight breaking out, you know, he's not shy of TPing in and giving up some farm to make sure his team comes out on top of that. So a Slark, one of those heroes that really does benefit from that. We've seen a Slark glitch combo come out as well on I think it was Nemiga the player. I mean, it came out a few times in the Christmas show, and it looks so strong in that lane that there wasn't a lot of heroes that stood up against it. So Nemiga aren't going to be able to play that Slark at all in this series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you see a Centaur being picked on the other side, you don't want to pick a Slark against it, because it just gets absolutely demolished in the lane. On the other hand, the Slark is very strong in the current meta, just not strong against the Centaur itself. And then you don't want your opponents to have it because you don't have a counter for it in the lane, and it's super strong as well. So you can have to use that ban as well. Another reason why the Centaur is so strong currently, and why I like that Nemiga switched it up from game number 1, where they see Malreen's heroes being targeted, and then they just go for the Pango. No, Malreen can play anything on a decent level. These 3 he plays on an amazing level. But let's make sure that we take away so many bans and picks away from the opponents as we can, and then Malreen can be decent on his heroes. He doesn't have to be the win condition that he often is.
Yeah, and this Garath Mage being banned out here. Not expecting another LC pick in this draft. You know, it didn't do awful in that last game. I think there was some great duel openings. You know, Malreen playing just amazingly though to deal with it. But yeah, Hellraisers, I don't think they go back for the LC.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think the idea behind the LC, the main one, was save. And then Miero got pulled into an idea, I'm gonna be a Blade Mail Blink hero, and then he messed it all up, right? But if he focused only on the save capabilities of the hero and went for the aura build, I think the game definitely would have been different in the way that both teams would have approached it. I don't know if they won, but I would have preferred that route. I just didn't see a way to win with a Blink BKB LC. But Nemiga, they're going to get the Treant Protector, an ability to save the towers. Of course, this time around, Hellraisers do have a pushing hero. So even if things start going south in a sense that you're not winning the lanes all that well, you can still use the Death Prophet to bring down the tower, even with the living armor. So you know that's nice for them.
Yeah, I think I like the Treant Protector here with the Centaur Warrunner, Centaur Warrunner pick a little bit better than in the first game where it was with the Slardar. I think the Slardar still wants the blink and the BKB before it gets effective. But when the fight starts getting involved with the Centaur, once he hits 6 and has that stampede, the blink is going to be nice. But he's one of those heroes that, he builds that Vanguard. He looks pretty tanky anyway. He can stampede in to join the rest of his team or get his team out if they're in danger, and then start to look towards the fight. Towards, like I say, the Slardar, he really needs at least either the Blink or the BKB to get effective in those fights. So I like...
Also, having Stampede as a treant, imagine in Lord of the Rings if the ends were fast. Right, that would be a problem for everyone. It's lucky for the bad side that they were pretty slow this time. Not gonna be the case. But I like the bat. I think having the potential to dive the tower when you're up against the treant is a necessity. So you're missing off the map. He needs to let it go because he's expecting you to dive him, or he's being overly greedy at defending, and then you dive him and kill him. So I like the bat in that regard.
Yeah, and let's see what else Hellraisers want to go for here. I mean, we see the Nagasiren this time being banned out, but would you expect a hack to go back for something like the Bloodseeker, because he doesn't really play those, I want to say established, like the mainstream carries, he always seems to kind of do his own thing, it's gonna be the Sniper. Okay, yeah, we saw him play this in the Christmas Cup as well, and I need to find the game that
didn't
it was...
do well.
He
didn't do well, but this is a good sniper game. Everyone is very low on armor. Centaur low on armor, Treant low on armor, Tech is low on HP. You have a Vision hero now as well.
Yeah.
You don't have a save. That is something I don't like. But you have a potential to do very well in lanes now.
I mean,
he Hellraisers
played it against NGX. And how did that look?
Okay, against NGX he won. NGX... Yeah, let's not talk about that one. I think he played it in the group stage and lost, if I remember correctly. Either way, the Lina comes out for Nemiga. Considering that you're playing against the bad Death Prophet, both of these heroes hate being bursted down, but there are ways of dealing with Lina. I like this one. I think this is the closest draft that we're getting right now in both of the games. In both of the games, though, previously, I liked Nemiga's draft more, even though they lost the first one, but Hellraisers just played out of their minds. But here, I think everything is kind of close, because you have burst damage on one side, but you have vision on the other. You have tower push on one side, you have tower defense on the other. You have burst damage against the Death Prophet and the Batrider, but also you have a lot of physical damage coming out from the Tusk and the ability to get on top of the Lina and kill her. So I'm kind of loving it that both of the teams have something going for them.
Yeah, and looking at, I mean, the Sniper versus the Lina, I've seen people say that the Lina is just a better sniper at the minute. So if you're in this lane as the Sniper, we've seen a couple of different builds, and we've seen a couple of snipers. I think actually Tahak did it once, where you completely ignore the shrapnel. You pick up the extra attack range. You pick up the headshot, and you kind of just try and right click them down. But is that going to work well against Lina, or just trying to outrange the Lina?
Yeah, that is the idea. You don't want to get close to that hero. If the Lina is attacking and the Sniper is attacking, it's not gonna go nice for the Sniper. The problem is that the Lina gets an early BKB, and she doesn't need more than 6 seconds to kill the Sniper, even if her BKB gets low. But you do have 2 BKB piercing stuns on the side of Hellraisers, so that kind of switches up the other way around. The problem I have with the Hellraisers lineup, though, is if they are spotted, Nemiga do not care who they're jumping. They're popping the Stampede and they're running in like madmen, and that is a problem. So during daytime, when you don't have the better vision than your opponents, it's gonna be a rough one for Hellraisers for sure.
Yeah, and Hellraisers, I mean, the Primal Beast gets banned out. I don't think we saw a single Primal Beast during the Christmas show. Not one that I can remember anyway.
We did. If I'm not mistaken, even Antares played it.
Oh, did he?
Wouldn't be too bad of a hero for him, to be honest, but it's out. Tiny would have been the best one, obviously. They'll go for the save hero in a Shadow Demon. So they have vision and they have save, but not in a sense that I would like, because, man, the disruption does put you in a position where the Tusk might jump in and save you with the snowball, or you pop the BKB. But I think if Nemiga are on top of you, that it's already bad, that you need to kind of save like an Oracle or something along those lines, an LC that's instant and that allows you to just turn and fight immediately. I'm kind of scared for Hellraisers here, to be honest, though. Even though they do have the tools, they can easily get ran over.
Yeah. Would you expect here something like the Spectre maybe to come up from Nemiga, being able to jump right on top of the sniper, you know, the Batrider? Anytime the Batrider lasso comes out, Nemiga can just pop that, you know, pop the horn and get instant backup.
I'd rather see a Life Stealer, though.
Yeah.
The reason why I would rather see a Strength Hero is because the Shadow Demon illusions can be a problem against the Spectre. Spectre comes in alone, she gets disrupted, and her own illusions destroy her. And I think something like a Life Stealer would be better. But they go for the Drow. Okay, so not really going for a straight run-in type of lineup, but, you know, when you look at Hellraisers, Tusk is very good against the Drow, but the rest of them are not, right? But I think this is, it is going to be a support Death Prophet, I guess, something that I haven't seen for a long time. But, yeah, I think this pick of Nemiga is very risky, but also we could just see them run over Hellraiser. So I'm going to be siding with Nemiga here. I think they got themselves a really cool draft that if they don't mess up the lane against the Batrider, and they shouldn't just attack him from level 1, that they should be able to take it here.
Do you think that Miro is going to be going for, with the Drow Ranger coming out here, because we you know, the Batriders sometimes go for the 4-staff, sometimes go for that BKB first. With that Drow Ranger being, do you, as the Batrider, want to go straight towards that Blink Dagger? Just being able to get on top of the Drow, get that lasso out, drag them into the rest of your team? Or do you still want the Boots of Travel kind of Witchblade 4-staff kind of build for the Batrider?
No, it's all gonna be a Witchblade build. It's only mid lane Batriders go for something like that. Way too greedy. I think you go for an initiation item. Is it gonna be the drums, or is it gonna be a Blink Dagger? Maybe it's gonna be both. But yeah, I do expect it to be a blink coming out from the bat as soon as possible here, because you want to be jumping your enemies if you're Hellraisers. That's the idea. You jump one, you kill them. Especially you have a Tusk. Ideally, with the Tusk and the Batrider, you can get the kills. It's necessary to do.
Okay, well, we'll see which way this is going to go in the third and final game here in the first series of the Eastern European Division 1. And Nemiga, I've got to go for the... I mean, I think the Drow is... in fact, there was a... You know, Team Spirit they put out on the social media every so often, you know, what everyone thinks is one of the best characters. I think it was... and I think Drow Ranger was one of the top heroes, you know, like the A tier, the S tier kind of hero. And at the minute, I just think the Drow Ranger doesn't even really need items to get strong. You know, you start off, you don't really have... And we saw it a couple of times as well during the Axeman show, where the Drow Ranger doesn't have a great start in lane. But once you hit that level 6, you know, once you start to stack up your stats, and you start to stack up your abilities, you know, even if you don't have the most items, you don't have the most net worth, the Drow Ranger still looks incredibly, incredibly deadly. So even if he doesn't have the greatest time in the lane up against this Batrider Shadow Demon combo, Kiritic, this Drow Ranger to me is the X Factor. You know, it's just looking, to me, it just looks like it's going to be a hero killer. And that's exactly what the Drow Ranger is designed to do. So, you know, getting a shard, being able to mount pressure onto the rest of the side, maybe fighting a little bit earlier as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play around this Drow Ranger.
If Hellraisers don't jump in and get a kill, they're done. Whereas Nemiga, they have different ways of approaching the fight. They can go in, go out, reset with the Treant Protector Overgrowth, reset with the Stampede. Just so many more options for them. Plus, you mentioned the Drow Ranger. Her ability to buff up the Lina is also very powerful. But Hellraisers, their lanes could go strong. Lina is a natural lane winner, but if there's something that she doesn't do too well against, it's fat strength mid laners who just don't care about the pokes and get as much farm as her, and then just go around the map killing her teammates and don't really fight around the mid lane. So that's kind of the why the Tusk is so solid against the lane, and why Kiyotaka decided to play the Tusk rather than Bat or maybe even the Death Prophet in the lane.
Can I ask as well, because the Lina, before a couple of months ago when the Lina was being picked up mid, you know, the build-up that I saw was the Boots of Travel into the BKB into like a Silver Edge or a Daedalus, but more recently I've been seeing both mid and carry Linas go for the They do pick up the BKB, but they get an early Falcon's Blade, and then they go in for a Maelstrom. You know, why are the Lenas... Is it just because of the attack speed buff that Lenas are going in for the Maelstrom to get, you know, the most out of those Maelstrom procs?
I haven't seen too many Lenas on a mid lane go for Maelstrom. For a carry Lena, it's quite apparent. You get an early Javelin to destroy people, and you're the one that who is being put an emphasis on in terms of farm, so you want to increase it even further. Of course, the damage from the Maelstrom insane, but for Malrine, I think that's gonna be a classic, you know, Falcon Blade, Boots, BKB, and if the game is going really well, then you get a Boots of Travel. If you have a really nice game and you get an early Boots of Travel Falcon's Blade and you can go around getting kills without much problem for your life, then that's pretty much how you solo win the game. Any mid laner will tell you that in pubs. If I'm having a good time with the Lina and I get an early Boots of Travel and I can go for kills, the game is just over. I won.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on the item build as well. Just watching on the top lane as well. Kiritich, the creeps did get pulled behind. The Batrider Miro now level 2, so he's not going to point in the Flame Break, not going to point into the Firefly just yet. It looks like he was looking to keep himself safe. I like this really deep ward as well. Just to keep an eye on the back, keep an eye on when the Shadow Demon moves off the lane to see any couriers moving through, and just offering maybe some early rotations from the probably not that early coming out from Kiyotaka, but Malrine, he's going to be taking some harass, and 2 points into the Dragon Slave before he gets a point into the LSA. He's going to be taking a lot of harass coming out from Kiyotaka here underneath his tier 1 tower, so it's not going to be a dive, it's not going to be kill potential, but Malrine's still taking a lot from the Tusk there.
We know from one TI final when a certain somebody said, oh, they picked a Tusk against the Tusk King. Malrine might be feeling that way right now. You know, how can you play a Tusk against me? Though we know in that certain grand final, the one that was calling himself the Tusk King didn't really do too well. I'm hoping that Malrine will be a bit more humble here, because if he's not, he might just actually lose the game there. And that's the thing, you know, Tusk has so much HP that even when he gets low, look at it, he still has 200 HP. He's not really close to death. Yeah.
And he's going to be able to regen up as well. You see that when the Tangle comes out, you know, he's got the tower as well. That he is just going to be able to get himself right back to a decent amount of health. Bottom lane, let's check in with the hack on the bottom lane as well as Hellscream. Vazia to see how this lane's going. Solo looks like he did get the pull through. Just trying to maybe deny the rest of the creeps to make sure Hellscream can't get a pull himself. And Sniper this time, gone for the 2 points into the headshot, but nothing into the take aim. It is going to be into the shrapnel, that third point. So at this point, is it just looking to maybe stop these pull-throughs from Hellscream, you know, be able to farm up these neutral creeps with the shrapnel as well?
He took it level 1 for the range creep secure. That's it. I think the Hawk is going to be skipping that one. Even though I like the Shrapnel, at least level 2, the Hawk, at least from what I've been seeing from him, has mostly been skipping it though. There is one lane that is really going bad for Hellraisers, and that's the top lane. Miero, he didn't want to get low, so he was consistently pulling himself back. And against the Drow, you usually have good CS because the hero has bad animation, but Batrider has really bad damage. So very nicely done for Nemiga to zone out Miero and just be super aggressive on him that he can't do anything.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to use that sticky napalm to stack up, you know, to get extra damage here onto the creeps. But like you say, the Drow, it's just being able to get himself in, get these right clicks off. The 2 points now into the Frost Arrows that if Miero tries to back himself up, it's going to be a long time, especially when you've got a Treant here as well. Being able to pop that Leech Seed for the extra protection on the Drow. If you want to get close to that Drow Ranger, you're going to lose so much of your health to try and do it.
It's not looking good for Miero currently. Of course, when you get level 3, level 4, the Drow starts being a bit scared, but it doesn't matter. You've gotten the CS necessary. Even if you would start losing in CS right now, as long as you don't die and get level 6, you're happy with the Drow.
Yeah, and look at this again. The Leech Seed comes out with the Frost Arrow, slowing Miero down, keeping him in that Leech Seed range. So Soba going to get a lot of benefit from that. Flame Break comes out now onto Kiritich. Kiritich, he's just going for the TP. Yeah, the Shadow Demon's not close. The Poison, is he going to be able to get the ticks actually? He was close. But the Shadow Poison, it shouldn't be enough to get the kill, especially with that Living Armor coming out here for the Drow.
But there's this Firefly used. Nemiga are going to be getting so many creeps under the tower. So bad. If I was him, I would be focusing a little bit on not getting the experience here from the creeps, but it seems like he needs to posture himself aggressively or Kiritich will be in trouble. Yeah, Disruption comes out here from the Shadow Demon, but again, Miero underneath that tier 1 tower, still going to be taking a lot of harass coming out from Sobat and Kiritich. But Kiritich, is this going to be enough with the Shadow Poison to get this kill? He's low. He needs one more. He connects. He gets the kill. Antares pulls out the first blood just for the fact that he was landing all of those Shadow Poisons, and Kiritich wasn't respecting it. And So Bad also made a mistake. He ran towards the Batrider, who was low without the Firefly, instead of running towards the Shadow Demon. If he pushed back on Taurus, his jaw would have been alive right now. So slight mistake there coming out from So Bad. It just happens, you know. You don't respect what the other hero can do, and that was true for Kiritich as well. So he loses his life, and now he doesn't have a TP. So suddenly that great lane is not so great any longer. So Hellraisers are going to be quite happy. And this is what happens. Batrider hits level 4, and he suddenly becomes a beast in the lane.
Yeah, and you can see that Malrin's, he's moved into the jungle now as well, just trying to find some of these stacks. Tusk with the double damage rune. Does he have... He does. He has it bottled, so he's going to be able to keep that for a little bit longer here as well as Malrin. He's just trying to find that extra farm. We're only 6.5 minutes in, so no neutral items just yet. But it looks like, oh, top lane. Are they going to try and make a move onto Interest? There is going to be the disruption coming out, but Interest is going to be slowed down by the Frost Arrows as well as the multi-shot. Do they have the damage to take him down? Shadow Poison's coming through, but one more right-click, and it's So Bad. A little bit of revenge here for Kiritich in the lane, but... Mid lane. Oh, excuse me, bottom lane. The rotation comes out. Kiyotaka. He's going to be able to get himself on top of Hellscream. And he does get a kill with that double damage rune.
And very fast rotation towards the mid lane, and immediately he waited for the siege creep in the mid lane to die, for him to find the first power rune, and then go for a rotation. Mallory needs to be careful. They're coming in full force.
Yeah, Dragon Slave gets thrown out, but the snowball, he gets caught in the ice shards, and now with the Walrus Punch, this damage, it should be enough. LSA is going to connect, though. Double damage rune. Tusk just needs one more right click for the disruption. Antares, the illusions. Yeah, Antares is going to be able to get it with the poison.
Oh, that was beautiful what he did. He saw that he had a Fairy Fire, so he disrupted him, and then he went for the Shadow Poison. You can pop the Shadow Poison during the disruption. It's somewhat kind of what the OD at right click works out. You use the OD right click, then you ask for someone, and the right click still connects, and you can use the ulti as well. So that's kind of how the disruption works as well. So just beautifully done from Antares there to make sure that the Fairy Fire doesn't come out, and potentially they turn it around and, let's say, kill the Tusk.
Yeah, and Solo... I mean, Solo's trying to just do what he can to Vizia. Vizia is going to be forced away from those neutrals, you know, from the creeps being pulled through, because he doesn't have a support in this lane, because he doesn't have that extra protection that if the drain comes out, maybe the hack moves up as well. The hack, what level is he? Level 5. He doesn't have the assassinate just yet, but Vizia, it's a lot of damage that comes out from the Spirit Siphon still on Solo. 3 points in that.
Yep, I mean, Centaur, naturally a very tanky hero in terms of HP especially. He has very high strength gain, so the Spirit Siphon is something that works so well against him. In solo, he's going to be getting level 6 soon, so the movement speed problem isn't going to be that big of a deal any longer, especially once he gets the boots as well. Yeah,
and do you expect here that Solo, is he going to be... Oh, it's going to be the TP rotation into the mid lane. It looks like because Tusk is away, so Dahak going to be getting some solo XP. Leaves the Solo to get some solo XP as well. And they might not know this TP came out, but the Stomp's going to be there. Solo going to be drained down. Sticky Bomb comes in, and the damage, though, you look at how quickly Vazia is losing his life. And yes, Solo, he is going to get to that level 6. Does he leave... I mean, I suppose Dahak's already left the lane, so it doesn't really matter. But does he then want to try and group up with the rest of the team when the Exorcism comes out to try and force out a tower, maybe up against the Drow in the top lane?
It seems like this is the idea to counter the Centaur. Centaur can't really kill you because of the Spirit Siphon being so strong early on. So I think that's the idea. But top lane Kiyotaka is making a move with the Arcane Rune.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and close the gap onto Kiritich now as well, but the LSA is going to connect the disruption. It came out a little bit too late, but it does still keep the Tusk from danger, and now immediately into that snowball so bad. It's going to be the point-blank connection. Laguna Blade comes out. Kiritich, though, is the chase because he moved himself away, so Kiyotaka is going to be able to move himself out there as well. So Kiritich not going to be able to expand. Yeah, the snowball comes out. They get a kill onto Sobad now as well. The Walrus Punch connects onto Marine. Marine's going to get really down low. The Silence comes out onto the Batrider. Doesn't even need the lasso, and they might even still be able to go into Kiritich with this disruption into the lasso from Mero, and Mero's going to be able to... Does he get out? He doesn't even need to use it here just yet. The damage going to be more than enough. Mero picks up that kill.
Vazia used that Stampede thinking he can say something. That is Kiyotaka through and through with the Tusk. We talked about it in the Christmas show. He crushed it with this hero. I think he had 80% win rate. And now with the Arcane Rune, he is showing Nemiga that he can use this hero properly as well. And Hellscream is in trouble too.
Yeah, it's going to make a dive into the mid lane behind that tier 2 tower though. So Kiyotaka does just... move himself back after this. But yeah, a lot of damage onto Hellscream, and Hellscream, he had to get himself away from that.
With this kind of a build on the Tusk, the Arcane Rune is a dream for you. You know, anyone who has played the mid lane Tusk Founder, Kenru, the 4/4 build, he's gonna know about it, because basically you're just spamming your spells and they do so much damage. And Kiyotaka now, he has the map open to do whatever he wants, because the Lina is scared to stand in the mid lane, because with a couple of rotations you can die, and she can't push because the sniper is always in the vicinity. This gives so much space to Kiyotaka to do whatever he wants in Nemiga, and their lineup, they needed to do well in lanes. They really did, and their lanes, their early game, it went horribly wrong.
Yeah. And Amarin, yeah, like you say, he is in the jungle. He's looking for farm. He's going to be... It's only about 400 gold behind the Tusk, so it's not a massive gap. But this mental advantage here that the Tusk has, that knowing that, like you say, he can rotate. He can look for the kills. He can look to put pressure. And the Nemiga, they have to be the ones to respond. And the Lina having to be really careful. What's the level difference here? 9 and... Okay, so 9. So it's not even a massive level difference. But Kiyotaka, he just seems to be the one that's come out right on top. And now the Exorcism, so they are going to try and put pressure onto the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. Just take this away from Nemiga and just get this extra benefit of the tower and the gold.
But this is a problem, because Nemiga, they won't be able to take the enemy tier 1. I mean, Hellraisers are much stronger right now, and you won't have the access point towards the bottom tower. Opening up the map for Nemiga, it's impossible currently, and they need it because they have some greed on their lineup, whereas Hellraisers, they only need the sniper hitting creeps.
Oh, Ishaz comes out, Hellscream, he's going to be in trouble. The Walrus Punch comes through now as well, and with the damaged soul, with Spirit Siphon as well as the Exorcism. Even Visor's going to be in trouble. The Snowball underneath the tier 2 tower, and it looks like the Death Prophet wants to carry on going. Sounds for a few seconds longer. Solo, can he get himself out of this? He starts another Spirit Siphon onto the Drow here, and Kiritich going to take a lot of damage. Kiyotaka still gets a kill onto Visor, and now they might be able to take down the Tusk. Kiyotaka does get killed off by Sobat. He claims that kill, but you can just see Kiritich taking damage from Solo now as well. He doesn't have another Spirit Siphon for the next 13 seconds. It might cost him his life here. Laguna Blade comes out, and Marin will get the kill.
Oh man, that was a second before the Tusk gets his snowball that he died. If he gets the snowball off, Kiritich dies, he doesn't have the raindrop, and that is a complete disaster. This is now a chance for Nemiga to maybe apply some pressure to the bottom lane, but no, you can't take the tower down. There's going to be a TP there, and you are going to have to back out. So again, Nemiga, they defend themselves, but at what cost? At bringing so many heroes to the bottom lane without any chances of getting a objective going their way.
Yeah, and you can see that Sobat, he's waiting just for the creeps to move up, so he's going to pull a couple of these through. The TP is going to come out here for Solo, so again, just protecting onto this tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. Tusk back to the mid lane as well. I mean, Tusk isn't the quickest tower hitter as well, so even if he cleans up this creep wave, you know, that tier 1 tower, it's taking a lot of damage, but there would still be time for TP rotations to come in if he wanted to go all the way to that tier 1. So Kiyotaka, you can just see he's just playing it safe. He's not crossing the river just yet. He's not sure where everyone is on the side of Nemiga either. So he does throw himself in a little bit. You know, the wards are down as well. But he's not overly aggressive here. It doesn't seem.
Yeah, right now, Nemiga, they have to wait for the Vazia Blink Dagger. Luckily for them, he was a smart boy and didn't finish off the Vanguard or the Hood. He understood the dangers in this game and how much he needs to do. Both him and Melrine are going for aggressive items. They want to play Dota, and this is the way you should approach it.
Yeah, meanwhile, the top lane, you can see that Dahax, he's just going to tick down the right clicks onto that tier 1 tower. Hellscream being caught out. He's already used the Assassinate as well, so the right clicks, and Mero's going to be able to secure the kill up against the techies, and then the TP into the mid lane. So Mero, how is he looking? He did go for the drums first. He's only about, what's that, 700, 800 gold from the blink though, so it's not a massive... It's going to be a great time here for the Bat Rider.
That is gonna be quite nice. So there it is, drums and the blink. He knows that he needs to catch the enemies, and that's what Hellraiser's lineup is good at. Get a kill. If you jump them, you can't get a kill. Burst them down from 100 to 0.
Yeah, Mero, they're gonna be able to spot onto Mari now as well. The flame break into the lasso. He's gonna be slowed down, but there's still gonna be enough damage to get. With the overgrowth coming through though, did they still get the kill? Assassinate from long range. They still get the kill onto Malrine, and now, well, they're gonna be able to take down the Tusk. Solo coming in with the Exorcism. Can they carry on going even further? They take down the techies. Trian, he wasn't able to TP himself out of this, and now Kiritich is in trouble as well. He's already used that Gust, so he's not even going to be able to get the blowback onto Solo, and Solo should be able to get the kill. It's going to be a full 5-man wipe, and Hellraisers, they only lose the mid lane, or they might lose the courier as well. The tower shots, it will take it down, but they lose a tier 1, and a full team wipe goes the well of Hellraisers.
The Hawk comes at a perfect moment. All three of the towers of Nemiga have fallen. They have a Treant Protector. We talked about both teams kind of having a way to respond to the enemies, but Hellraisers, every single thing of their lineup, being able to push towers, check. Being able to kill people with the Tusk, check. Being able to pull the sniper early on in the fight so that you can get the extra kills and the towers as well, check. So they did everything right, whereas Nemiga, I mean, considering they only have 4 kills, that their lanes went horribly wrong. When you look at every single position is behind the position of the enemies, yeah, nothing went too well for them. And the Hawk also, once you get the Dragonlance, that's the time when you fall in a fight with the sniper. You have the Maelstrom for the farming capability, then you get the Dragonlance and you join the fight. Plus, that is a Blink Dagger reveal from Bazia, so Hellraisers know that this is coming. This is just a straight up disaster for Nemiga, and even bigger disaster than what happened in game 1 of this series.
Yeah, and this draw range, you look at the net worth, he's 5th in net worth. I talked about not really needing the items, but it just seems that Hellraisers have been able to play around this draw really well. They've found a good couple of kills onto him, put the pressure onto him as well. So he's not even really found the levels that I was expecting the draw ranger to get either.
Yep, and the Hawk is not the guy that is gonna allow him to lose the lead. He understands how far ahead they are, and he's going for a BKB. He knows, I get this BKB, I stand my ground, they can't do anything to me, and that's a very smart approach coming out from the Hawk. If he lives, him and his team will do enough damage. There's no doubt about it, especially with the way that this game is going currently.
Yeah, so the BKB, I mean, his courier's going to be coming back alive soon as well, so he is going to be able to get the first item of that out if he wants to. And so the sniper getting that BKB, what does he want to be going towards after? Is it something like the Desolator, or does he just go straight Daedalus and just increase the damage that he's putting out?
You can go for Silver Edge. I think it's a smart one. It gives you positioning and gives you the crit. So you kind of have 2 in 1. It's a great item for the sniper overall, and we talked about the ability to burst people and the division part, so that kind of gives you both. So I think that's most likely going to be something he's looking for. But also there's a shard, there's a hurricane pike, you know, those might be the items he wants to finish off before he even thinks about anything else.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, he could go for the concussive grenade if he wants that, just in case, the Centaur blink comes in and gets right on top of him. But we can see Nemiga, they want to go for a smoke.
Yeah, they will be catching someone here for sure, but if Antares is not the first one that gets caught, he just saves people.
Yeah, and the blink, it doesn't come out here from the Centaur, so they're going to be able to turn it around with the disruption of Mount Vazia. He tried to go for that stomp, he has to pop the Stampede, but there's going to be the lasso, the Walrus Punch comes out. They still get the kill onto the Centaur, and where are they going to be able to go from here? Malrine underneath that tier 2 tower, but the rest of his team not close, so if there was a dive coming in, yeah, you can see that he's just playing it safe, just going to go right back to the fountain with a TP.
Usually we see, see this ward from Nemiga and the ward from Hellraisers close to Roche, but usually we see these areas being contested by teams, especially when the Roche is up, even in later portions of the game, but in the early game sometimes as well. And Nemiga, they thought they could go aggressively there because Kiritich was pushing in the bottom lane, but Hellraisers didn't care, and they're still going to be hunting Kiritich now. Yeah,
this ward, it's going to spot the Drow Ranger out. The Gust comes out now as well, so Batrider turns himself around. He doesn't want to get too far away from Kiyotaka. Not sure where everybody else is on the side of Nemiga as well, so they just give up the chase. He didn't have the lasso either, so he wasn't able to get that off onto the Drow. Mid lane though, there could be a fight breaking out. Disruption comes through, and they go into Vazia once again. The Shadow Poison starting to stack up. Laguna Blade though on the back lines onto Solo. The Force Staffs. Is he going to keep Solo alive? No, Malrine. He's going to be able to get the kill. The Snowball connects onto Malrine though. Malrine's going to go down. Hellscream trying to run himself away, but the Eye Shards, it just keeps him locked down. He comes back in with the Taser, as it looks like Dahak's going to be able to get the kill onto Hellscream. And they still take down 2 heroes there, only trading off Solo.
Nemiga are getting desperate, and I understand why. I mean, this game is so out of their hands right now. There was a cool interaction there, something that, people tend to forget. The techies jumping in with the blast off, and then the flame break stops you. It's just a feels bad moment. I'm catching 2 of them, we can turn this around, and suddenly, no, you're not. You're not doing anything. Your hero is useless. Also, one thing, we talked about the potential concussive grenade of the sniper, disarming the Lina and the Drow, who neither of those 2 have a BKB, nor are they going to be looking to buy it anytime soon. That's also going to be something that's big for the sniper as well, other than giving him some positioning though. For now, it seems like he's just going to be finishing up the items. He gets the BKB, and then Mjolnir and the Hurricane Pike are probably something that he's going to be looking towards.
Yeah, Mjolnir is going to be the next one. Like you say, the BKB's there, the Dragon Lance is there as well, and he's just going to be able to sit at a distance and plink down onto this tier 2 tower. The side of Nemiga, they're not even coming in to protect this. They're just letting the hack just take it. I suppose if he's the right-clicking onto the tower, it means he's not busy killing the rest of the team. Speaking about killing the rest of the team, Malrine, the lasso's going to come back. Stampede, though. Do they have a jump in? Where are those drums? He's already used them. He's not got the blink dagger for 8 seconds, but Malrine is going to be slowed down. There's going to be a really nice tush punch as well. So the assassinate not even needed. The Vazia, though, the disruption, it's going to stop his TP. Shrapnel's going to be dropped as well. So Vazia even going to be the bullwhip coming out to slow him right down, and that's going to be the death of the Centaur. Once again, he's 0-4-2 here on this Centaur.
The thing is, game number 1. Oh, are they getting more? Yeah,
Kiritich, the Gust comes out. Do they have enough, though? The 4 staffs from both sides. Antaras not going to be able to catch up, so he has to go for the disruption onto the tree. And it looks like there's not going to be any follow-up here onto Sobat.
Antaras, in the first game, he played the Techies, and now he's playing a Shadow Demon, and he's pretty much doing the same amount of damage as he did in the first one, right? In the previous game, he played the Bane, a hero that pretty much doesn't really have any possibilities of doing massive amounts of damage, but this Shadow Demon is kind of making everything happen for his team. He's canceling the Blink Daggers, he's getting the kills, he's saving people, and he's always there, you know, to just change the outcome of a fight. Get an extra kill, get a first blood, whatever. He's just doing an awesome job, and I'm loving it. And now he even steals the stack.
Just watching Mero there as well, just skulk his way through the dire jungle looking for anybody. Malrine, he might be coming into this with the Shadow Blade. It is only a Shadow Blade. It's not even the Silver Edge here for the Lina. But trying to chase down, he's going to be careful because that Shadow Blade is going to be fading to Mero. Well, he doesn't have that lasso, so he's not going to be able to turn around and get the catch onto Malrine. And Malrine, still 6 seconds. The rest of his team is backing him up in case he gets into danger. But he just, that to me, you know, that was dangerous there for Malrine, and that might, like you say, Nemiga, they have to try and start taking these risks, but if they don't pay off, that's just going to open up the map for Hellraisers.
For sure, but at least Nemiga went where they could right now. They pushed the enemies back as much as they can. They didn't get the stun on the Batrider, so because of that they don't get the kill, but at least they pushed them out a little bit. You buy some time with this. Obviously, you're going to be losing the tower. The game is looking bad for you, but if you continue to make these moves, you can force Hellraisers into a mistake at some point. So, you know, this is the, for quite some time, this is the first move that I really liked for Nemiga, even though it didn't end up in a kill. At least they stopped exactly where they should, and they pushed out the enemies as much as they could.
Yeah, and it looks like now they're going to try and trade off the tier 2 for a tier 2. The creep's pushing in as well. How much tower damage do they have? The LSA comes out to try and clean off these trees, but the fortification is going to be used, so they need to wait for this next creep wave. There's going to be buying Hellraisers time to respond however they want. Kiritich with a Hurricane Pike as well. That's going to be really nice in case, you know, you don't have the Gust. If anyone gets on top of you, you know, just being able to knock them away. Being able to get the extra attacks out there as well. Stacking up that damage. It's going to be the Lincoln Sphere for the Drow Ranger, so they are bothered about this lasso as well as the disruption coming out from the side of Hellraisers over wanting that BKB.
You just can't go for the BKB. It's not going to change anything. You're going to get jumped and you're still going to die. If you get lassoed, you're gone.
Okay. Well,
so bad might be gone, you know. That's
no, he's tree walking. He is A-okay. Well, maybe like a B or a C okay, but he's still okay, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, he got slapped, lost a few leaves there, but the life is gonna stay intact. Batrider is still not done chasing Miero. He's now on the top lane, so they want to be everywhere on the side of Hellraisers. Now they know there's not too many TPs on Nemiga, and Nemiga, they see people are missing off the map, and they're like, yep, let's get together behind the tower, the only thing we can do.
Yeah, and Mero, like you say, he's going to carry on. I mean, he's got the chase down. No more drum charges, though, so that is going to be... Oh, bottom lane. Sobat still in the trees. He's trying to do what he can with the Nature's Grasp, but Solo does move himself back here now as well to help push out this creep wave. 4v3 fight. Yeah, even Malrine is going to TP down to this creep wave. Maybe to try and get a pick off into Solo, but it does leave the rest of Nemiga open to a gank if they get caught out.
If you're Nemiga, ideally you want Hellraisers on the bottom lane. For a fight, great, but you're way too weak for that. But at least from that point, it's the longest path to taking an objective for Hellraisers. Contesting the Roche Pit, getting the tier 2 on top, getting the tier 2 on the bottom lane. From the bottom lane, it's all hard to do. So Nemiga, ideally, you would want to get a kill, but if you're pulling Hellraisers towards the bottom lane, that's good enough for you. And Hellraisers, they wouldn't want to give this tower before the next Roche, because taking the outpost and constantly pushing in the wave is going to allow Nemiga to potentially contest the Roche as well.
Yeah, and let's see this. The Hack, he's just, again, just sitting out of range, right-clicking onto the tower. We've got the Exorcism coming through from Solo now as well. So, backdoor protection for the tower. Bottom lane, though, like, are they dragging them down enough here? They've got the jump onto the back rider. Meanwhile, the back line, so there's going to be the Walrus punch coming through. Do they get the kill onto the Tusk? The Tusk's going to go down here. Miro, does he get the chase into Vazi? Vazi's going to go for the TP, so it looks like that Centaur is going to be out. Meanwhile, the Disruption, Hellscream, though, the Force Staff, it gets him away from the Techie's blast off. Techie's Hellscream, is he going to go down to the Assassinate? It's not enough damage to finish him off, and the Shadow Poison won't connect here either. Kiritich trying to go for that TP, will be able to get himself away. So it looks like Nemiga, they're going to lose the tree, but they do trade that off for a Tusk, which is a great trade to have, just going 1-for-1 with you being so far behind.
9-second BKB on the Tusk. You force Hellraisers in the bottom lane, and you kill the Tusk as well. I mean, you can't get happier than that one. Nemiga, they understood there when they saw the sniper on the high ground, like, no, run away, run away. The Hawk is gonna kill us. And they did manage to escape. Even if Hellscream dies, it wouldn't have been that bad of a deal. But overall, Nemiga are gonna be quite happy with that one. Still, Hellraisers, they're the ones in control. It's not gonna change. You need like 5, 6, 7 more of moves like this for it to really start impacting the net worth scale.
Yeah, and well, Solo now, he's going to try and take this outpost. Just another objective. I mean, Roche at least 3 seconds away, but it could be a quick one. And with that outpost being in their grasp, it's a really nice, you know, clearing off the tier 2 tower as well. What's it going to be? It's going to be 20-ish seconds. So if you check that pit, this could be a perfect timing with Marine being here on the bottom lane. But it looks like they want to try and just take away the farm, take this jungle, and then put pressure. This tier 2 tower, you know, take this one down before it does get living armored right back to full health.
Yeah, you wanna take that one down. The glyph is gonna be used for Nemiga, so they won't have it for the bottom tower. But there's very low chances of Hellraisers really poking that bottom tower. The only thing now that you can do with this one is maybe force them in the mid lane. But overall, Nemiga are okay with that. If they still can't get this bottom tier 2, it's so dangerous for them. And also, what's dangerous is this ward that they allow to stay in the bottom side of the map. That is something that can lose you the fight quite heavily, especially after this Roche falls.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Roche, they're just going to be straight into the pit here, Hellraisers, and it looks like Nemiga aren't going to be able to respond to this. It's going to be the second Roche as well, so the shard comes out. Do you give that over to the sniper, or... Yeah.
Yeah, sniper.
Is that just because typical, you know, it's the position 1 carry, so he gets everything that he can carry out of the pit?
It's the best one. The only one that is close to being that good is Solo one, and of course the Shadow Demon already has it, so it's... Yeah, I think it's no contest, right? Because Solo doesn't really want to get all too deep with the Spirit Siphons, even if you would have a shard.
Yeah, and it looks like... I mean, Nemiga, they're just going to back themselves away. There was the smoke out from Hellraisers as well, but Nemiga, they saw the Roche go down, and then he just immediately played it safe, you know, back themselves away so bad. He's still trying to do what he can on this bottom lane with the Nature's Grasp, because it is just going to be normal creeps, you know, there's no super creeps, there's no mega creeps, anything like that coming out, so he can try and keep the momentum in favor on this bottom lane, in favor of Nemiga, and then TP to wherever he's needed. He's got that gem in his stash as well, so looking to pick that one up, but Mero, how aggressive does he want to get here on this Batrider? Or is he just creating space here for Dahak to sit and plink down onto this tier 3 tower?
He doesn't have a force, so not too much, right? But ideally, you're just defending the Hawk here. He went for a Crystallis, it's coming over. I like that much more over the Daedalus that he was thinking about, because this Sniper, he needs some damage, right? Daedalus or the Silver Edge, that's what I want to see, because now it's time to poke the high ground, considering there's no glyph. This tower, I don't really see Nemiga defending it all that easily.
No, and you can see that even Mari, he's not here to defend. Kiotak is going to blink in, but Solo, he wants to be coming in with the Exorcism now. Fortification will be back up because this is going to be the first tier 3 tower, so if Hellraisers want to step onto the high ground, there will be a fortification coming out from Nemiga, and how far forward do they want to go with this?
Oh man, you just don't have the heroes to defend this high ground, but Vazia is trying to clear out the next wave. So Kiritich will deal with the wave right now. They use the glyph. Oh, he made a mistake. He used the multi-shot way too early. This is a problem. Now your axes can actually fall.
Yeah, and look at how quickly they're going to go down. There's going to be the jump in now as well. The BKB comes out from the Batrider. Overgrowth is going to be there, so Kiritich is going to be left outside of the range of Hellraisers, but it's still going to be Hellscream that goes down. Buyback comes out. What can Kiritich do? He's got to be careful because the Shrapnel is still dropping. The Haxley's leading the line. The Sniper's in the front. He's saying, right, come at me, bro. You want to fight into me? Here I am. He's still got that Aegis now as well. He's going to be plinking away onto the melee racks. And at least Maureen, he pushed down that top lane. He got some tower, so he got some net worth. He's finished off that silver edge here as well for the Lina. So what can he do with this now?
Oh, they don't want to leave Hellraisers. They know if they're standing their ground here, they're going to be winning for sure, especially during them having the Aegis.
Look at this. Vazia, he's going to be able to get the double stomp off, but what's going to come from this now as well? The multi-shot, it's not going to be there because of the Walrus Punch. They take down Kiritich, and Kiritich doesn't have a buyback. He's dead for 50 seconds. Assassinate onto Malrine now as well. Maybe just a bit of a scouting to see where he was in that silver edge, to see if he was coming forwards, but this is going to be a lane of racks. 40 seconds before the drought comes back up. You still have the Aegis on the sniper as well, so they're going to be able to take even more out of this, Hellraisers.
Such a good call from Hellraisers not to go back. Usually when you see the side lanes like that, you're like, we're gonna get away now. No, you don't. In this kind of a scenario, you just don't do it because you're so much stronger than your enemies, and the only way that you're gonna get caught if you go to the side lanes this way, you're not allowing Nemiga to have a single play on the map.
Yeah, and Drought 14 seconds away. Malrine going to be taking a lot of damage and headshots now as well. The Hack throws himself forward with a concussive grenade. He got offensive with that, aggressive with that, and he was just pushing back everybody on the side of Nemiga. How far away is the lasso? Lasso's 8 seconds away, so they might be able to get another jump on. Aegis again still here for another minute and 20 seconds. So what can they do here on the side of Nemiga to defend their base? Silver Edge going to be coming up. They're going to be able to get the stomp off onto the sniper now as well, but the disruption going to save him from that multi-shot coming out from the Drought. LSA, the BKB was there, so the LSA doesn't connect, and now he pops that concussive grenade, and Dahaki's back on the low ground. He's back away from everybody. They get the lasso onto Kiritich, and Kiritich, Snowball comes in. Stampede's going to be used now as well. Kiritich with the BKB. Laguna Blade comes out into Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka, can he get himself away from the right click damage? Hellscream, he's going to be diving into the rest of the solo as well as the Batrider. The Batrider will go down. Mayro. Oh, in the trees though, it looks like the Tusk able to get himself away with the Gust or connecting it onto Illusions. So they do take down the Batrider at least.
Okay, they survived. Nemiga survived. The Aegis is not going to be used to take down another lane of racks. So Nemiga now, it's time for a move. Push out the mid lane a little bit, deal with the wards, and go for moves. This needs to happen right now in the next couple of seconds while the Batrider is dead and while Hellraisers are not prepared for it. Because if you don't take the map back a little bit, you're in so much trouble. And they're still not dewarding things inside of their base. Even though they have a gem, that ward is persisting, and that is going to give the info necessary to Hellraisers to survive for as long as they need to and just continue destroying this game. But at least Nemiga are still in it. They can still win, but it's not an easy path.
Yeah, and you can see the sniper now, he is going to be going towards a silver edge of his own, so he's only the recipe goal away from it, about 200 gold, which once this next stack comes up or a creep wave pushes in, he's easily going to be able to clean that.